2019 Edo State governorship election. On the foreign scene, girlfriend of President Donald Trump's eldest son tests positive for coronavirus. Stay tuned for the news in details. The wife of Benue State Governor Eunice Autumn has tested positive for the coronavirus disease. In it noted that her son and some staff too were infected by the virus, adding that she has gone into total isolation and has commenced treatment. Autumn, however, advised everyone who virus is real, expressed optimism of recovering from the virus, stressing that being COVID-19 positive is not a death sentence. The Ebonyi State Governor David Umahi has tested positive for the novel coronavirus. The governor confirmed this in a statement personally signed by him on Saturday. He and some of his close aides tested positive for the virus after carrying out the coronavirus test, the statement said. Umahi further disclosed that presently they are not showing any symptoms but have since isolated in line with protocols laid down by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and CDC. Meanwhile, the death toll from COVID-19 in Nigeria has risen to 628. This is happening as the country recorded a total number of 454 new cases of coronavirus. The total number of confirmed cases stands at 27,564, while 11,069 patients have been successfully discharged. In a record by Nigeria Center for Disease Control and CDC, Lagos recorded 87, Edo recorded 63, FCT 60, Ondo 41, Benue 32, Abia State 31, Ogun with 39 or 29. Other states are Oyo with 19, Kaduna 17, Delta 16, Enugu recorded 15, Borno 14, Plateau 9, Nasarawa 8, Kano 5, Bauchi 4, Gombe has 2, while Katsina and Kogi states recorded 1 each. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has announced August 3 as the new date for the partial resumption of schools in the state. The governor, who announced this during the media briefing, said the resumption is for those in SS3. According to Governor Sanwo-Olu, the decision was taken after a meeting with stakeholders in the education sector. He, however, clarified that though schools would be reopened for the transitional classes on August 3, students in Senior Secondary School 3 and Technical School 3 would resume first. He added that pupils in primary schools and Junior Secondary School 3 students would resume school a week or 2 weeks after the SS3 students' resumption. The governor asked school authorities in the transitional classes to ensure adequate preparation to follow the guidelines for the reopening ahead of the resumption on August 3. He insisted that tertiary institutions will remain closed while assuring that the state government will continue to support online teaching during this period. Meanwhile, Akwa Ibom State Governor Udom Emmanuel says it is unsafe to reopen schools in this state in view of the COVID-19 pandemic. Governor Emmanuel disclosed this during a press conference in which, according to him, schools will remain closed until the state government is sure that reopening them will not expose students to the risk of contracting the dreaded virus. The governor said his administration is engaging stakeholders in the education sector on the safe reopening of schools in the state. He also announced the lifting of the ban on burial and marriage ceremonies under specified guidelines, saying that attendance at such ceremonies must be limited to 30 persons if it is done in a hall and 50 persons if it is done in an open space. The Chief Medical Director of the University of Calabar Teaching Hospital, UCTH, Ikpeme, has claimed that 5 patients tested positive for COVID-19 in the hospital. In a circular, the medical director said 2 of the patients are workers in the hospital. Ikpeme said the tests were performed using the PCR technique at the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and CDC accredited laboratory in Ebonyi State. The CMD had last week announced that a patient tested positive for COVID-19 in the hospital, but the State Commissioner for Information, Betta Edu, maintained that there was no record of any COVID-19 in the state. Governor Ben Ayade had said he has handed the state over to the federal government as far as COVID-19 is concerned. The National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) has issued a new certificate to the governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, following an official request by him. The governor partook in the scheme in 1980, but it turned out there was an error on the certificate issued to him with an alphabet missing in his surname, which read Obasek instead of Obaseki. The All Progressives Congress panel, which screened aspirants for the Edo 2020 primary, had cited this error as one of the reasons for disqualifying the governor from the race, a decision which made him defect to the People's Democratic Party (PDP), where he contested and won the primary. The course that earlier been cleared for Governor Obaseki's win after other aspirants running against him stepped down. In the meantime, Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has been appointed as the chairman of Edo State Governorship Election National Campaign Council. The People's Democratic Party, through its National Working Committee, in its official Twitter handle, also named the governor of Adamawa State, Amadu Fintiri, as the deputy chairman of the Election National Campaign Council. To the two governors, stating that he was confident that they would carry out their responsibilities well. Edo State governorship election is slated for September 19, 2020, with Governor Godwin Obaseki as the flag bearer. Of Policy and Strategic Studies, Jos Plateau State, was promoted to the next West team. The promotions were one of the high points of the 8th plenary meeting of the Commission, which spanned a period of 3 weeks. It was presided over by the Commission's chairman, Musiliu Smith. According to a statement by a former CP, Cross River State Command, Olafian Adeoye, who is currently in charge of the Anti-Terrorism Squad. The Commission also approved the promotion of 3 deputy commissioners of police and redeployment of some senior officers in the force. In a statement by the Force Public Relations Officer, Frank Mba, who said the development follows the recent presidential approval for the reorganization of the police. Mba noted that the recent developments included the creation of an additional police department, the Directorate of Intelligence, the expansion of the zonal structure from 12 to 17, and the creation of 2 additional FCID annexes. Mba revealed that Assistant Inspector General of Police Adeleye Oyebade and AIG Ibrahim Lamode have been redeployed to the Department of Research and Planning and the Directorate of Intelligence FHQ in Abuja, respectively. According to him, Oyebade was a directing staff at the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, Kuru Jos, while Lamode, who is a former chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, was the AIG in charge of force intelligence. Similarly, AIG Dan Malam Mohammed was redeployed to Zone 13 in Upo Dunukofia Akwa, Anambra State, Zone 14 in Katsina State. AIG Lawal Adu was also redeployed to Zone 15 Meduguri in Borno State, while AIG Austin Agbonlao and AIG David Folawiyo were posted to Zone 16 Yenegua in Bayelsa State and Zone 17 Akure. Takes charge as AIG of the new FCID Annex Gombe. CP Olafimian Adeoye, former CP Federal SAS, takes charge as the AIG FCID Annex Enugu, while CP Uchianoze FRSI, former CP Cross Rivers, takes charge as AIG FCID Annex Lagos. The statement quoted the IGP asking the affected senior officers to bring their wealth of experience to bear in their new places of assignment. He also directed them to ensure the policing was brought closer to the people and work with relevant stakeholders to tackle crime and improve policing services. The Nigerian Air Force has taken delivery of another reactivated aircraft, ATR-42. NAV Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ibikunle Daramola, disclosed this in a statement where he explained that the latest development was in furtherance of NAS's sustained efforts at providing more serviceable intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance platforms in the war against insurgency and other forms of criminality in the country. Daramola said the aircraft was received at a flight line of 307 Executive Airlift Group at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja. He noted that the Chief of Policy and Plans, Air Vice Marshal Oladayo Amao, took its delivery on behalf of the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, who is in the northeast, to oversee the ongoing subsidiary operation Long Reach 2. He, however, said due to the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic, the completion date was extended by 3 months. Daramola stated that NAV has successfully reactivated some of its platforms in the country in the last 5 years in collaboration with its technical partners, including the conduct of periodic depot maintenance (PDM) on 2 C-130H aircraft and the PDM avionics upgrade of 3 Alpha jets. According to him, this was also necessary to take advantage of the facilities and expertise of RAS and build the capacity of the NAV engineers and technicians that participated in the reactivation process in Germany. The federal government has released $311 million Abacha loot to the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority to fund its activities. Managing Director of NSIA, Uche Oji, made the disclosure at a virtual meeting with the press to discuss the authority's 2019 financial statement. According to Uche Oji, the process was facilitated by the legal counsel of the NSIA. He stated that the money is domiciled in cash with the Central Bank of Nigeria in a special account, just as he expressed hopes that the money will be in use in the third quarter of the 2020 on some critical infrastructure projects like the Second Niger Bridge, Lagos Ibadan Expressway, among others. The NSIA boss was happy at the release of the Abacha loot to the NSIA and said the money will go a long way in funding some of his projects, more so as the release of the money has now ensured that the NSIA will not go to the markets to raise as much money as it had earlier wanted to raise. You are listening to the World News at noon on Today95.1 FM, Voice of the People. After the break, more news, firing and sports stories. Please stay tuned.
Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
95.1 FM, Voice of the People.
And we're back.
You're listening to the World News at noon on Today 95.1 FM. Welcome back now to the rest of the bulletin. Former Governor of Rivers State, Rotimi Amechi, has raised an alarm over plans by a certain group to rope him into a litigation in the All Progressives Congress APC. He raised the alarm following President Muhammadu Buhari's order for all members to withdraw all litigations for or against the party as the APC moves to reconcile angry members. According to Amechi, the individual sponsoring what he called the false, ill-conceived narrative are one to immediately desist from their evil plot, adding that he is not unaware of their sponsors and paymasters. Amechi, now Minister of Transportation, in a statement by his media office Friday, said the unnamed group is plotting to tarnish his image by alleging he has a phantom interest in a court case involving the All Progressives Congress APC in Rivers State. They warned that no one should drag his name into any court matter involving the APC in Rivers or anywhere else. The APC leader in Rivers State added that the group has perfected plans to ravish his image by falsely claiming that he plans to influence the outcome of a court matter. Rotimi Amechi said the sponsors of malicious plan will be exposed and shamed publicly in due time. The Rivers State Council of the United Labour Congress has described the recent increase in the price of fuel as disappointing. The chairman of the ULC, Alex Agwangwa, who spoke in an interview with our correspondent, said it was sad that just when the people were beginning to enjoy the reduced pump price of 123 naira, the government announced a hike in the price. He also wondered why the pump price will be increased when the price of crude oil in the international market has not significantly increased. The Labour leader also noted that the only way the issue of high price of petroleum products would be addressed is by fixing the refineries in the country.
We'll have refineries here. If our refineries are working, we'll be talking about landing costs. They should put our refineries to order. The government should put the refineries to order. We'll have 4 refineries in this country. If all of them are working, we'll be talking about importing petroleum products. Even though there will be importation, I think it will not have any significant impact on how we regulate our price. Yeah. The only solution is that the government should fix all our refineries as soon as possible. If the old ones are outdated, they have the capacity to build new ones. They can start with modern refineries. At least they can start with those ones. They have given license to some people for modern refineries, some come from modern refineries. Up to now, they are yet to. I don't know what they are waiting for. Whether it's government that is holding them or the people are yet to mobilize. That modern refinery is already ongoing. Maybe within now, by this time next year, it should be in full operation.
In the meantime, petroleum marketers have said federal government should be firm on their decision on petroleum pricing and allow demand and supply to determine the price of petrol in the country. Rivers State Chairman of Petroleum Products Retail Outlets Owners Association of Nigeria, Petron, Francis Dingpa, in an interview with our correspondent, Funaya Bemendukwe, said the federal government did not consult with retail outlet owners before the recent change in price, which he said is bad for marketers and the general public. Dingpa re-emphasized on the need for the regulation of petroleum downstream sector and the building of functional refineries in the country, adding the federal government should, however, regulate the quality of products brought into the country.
We, as retail outlet owners of filling stations and other petroleum product institutions, are saying that the federal government should be firm in what they want to do. If they want to deregulate, they should deregulate and let the world know that they are deregulated, and demand and supply will now determine price. So this inconsistency is not good for we businessmen. It's also not good for Nigerians, that the federal government should be firm in what they want to do. How can you increase price from 123 naira or thereabouts to 143 naira just overnight? Filling station was not consulted in the process of this increase, and that is what we are saying, that if there be any reason for increment, we should be consulted. But by extension, we are saying that there should be full deregulation. The most important thing for federal government to do is to regulate the quality of products that is entering this country.
Reacting to the prompt implementation of increase in price of petroleum products by marketers, Dingpa blamed it on economic inconsistency, as he said marketers have to meet up with loans from various banks. Federal government has been blamed for the threat by some health workers under the umbrella of the Joint Healthcare Sector Union to embark on strike over alleged marginalization. The health workers accused the government of marginalization on the issue of hazard allowance and insurance for health workers at the fight against COVID-19. Former Rivers State Chairman of the JSU, Chris Mbata, said the federal government knows that the health workers face the same hazard as the medical doctors and must be treated equally.
Johesu had reached an agreement with them, severally written and signed. The government reneged. The next thing government did was to go to court. Industrial court called Johesu. At the end of the day, they went and consolidated, asked them to implement. Till today. Now, you brought COVID-19. If you are talking of hazard is the same thing, because we want it. In government circle, hazard is 5,000. That's what they pay everybody. But they are now coming now to separate. You 50,000, you 30,000. No, it's wrong. You are talking of insurance. Once somebody dies, somebody has died. You are now categorizing insurance too. It doesn't work like that. They say the total 3 million, pharmacists, nurses, 3 million, 2 million. In fact, medical scientists had to argue. We are at the forefront. We receive the samples. It's when you confirm that the doctor will treat. So we are facing COVID.
Mbata, who is also a member of the board of the Nigerian Council of Medical Laboratories, said the only way the private laboratories would be incorporated into testing COVID-19 will be when a valid rapid test kit is developed. The portal for the recruitment of the third batch of NPAR candidates has witnessed over 3 million applications 1 week after opening. This is according to the Deputy Director Information of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Rhoda Iliya, in a statement. The Federal Ministry commenced the enrollment process of the third batch of the NPAR beneficiaries on the 26th of June 2020. The government said 400,000 applicants will be enrolled into the third batch of its NPAR National Social Investment Scheme. The ministry also announced the disengagement of independent monitors recruited to monitor batch A and B of the NPAR program, as well as other national social investment programs, which will be effected on July 31. On the foreign scene now, the girlfriend of President Donald Trump's eldest son has tested positive for coronavirus. Kimberly Guilfoyle, a former Fox News television personality who is dating Donald Trump Jr., traveled to South Dakota to see the U.S. president's 4th of July speech and celebration fireworks at Mount Rushmore. Guilfoyle, who is 51-year-old, was immediately isolated after discovering she had the virus in a routine test conducted on anyone expected to come in close contact with the president. In a statement to the New York Times newspaper, the chief of staff to the Trump campaign's finance committee, Sergio Gore, says she's doing well and will be rested or retested to ensure the diagnosis is correct since she's asymptomatic. He added that as a precaution, she will come in events. Donald Trump Jr. was tested negative, but as a precaution, is also self-isolating and is canceling all public events. The United States Department of Justice has confirmed the Nigerian cybercrime suspect Raymond Abbas, also known as Hush Puppy, made his first appearance in court in Chicago on Friday. The United States Department of Justice says the 37-year-old is expected to be transferred to Los Angeles in the coming weeks to face criminal charges. Hush Puppy, a Dubai resident, was arrested last month by UAE security agencies for allegedly conspiring to launder hundreds of millions of dollars from business email compromise, Beck frauds, and other scams, including schemes targeting a U.S. law firm, a foreign bank, and an English Premier League club. Hush Puppy was then extradited to the United States and taken into custody by FBI special agents earlier this week. If convicted of conspiracy to engage in money laundering, Abbas would face a statutory maximum sentence of 20 years in federal prison. On entertainment, following the announcement of the much anticipated reality TV show Big Brother Naija, which is set to commence July 19, preparations for the incoming housemates is ongoing. According to an online report, the organizers of the reality show during the virtual press briefing revealed that after rigorous verification and online sorting of over 30,000 entries, selected housemates have proceeded on quarantine since Wednesday in line with the guidelines provided by NCDC. The organizers hinted that for this year's edition of the popular reality TV show, carefully tested measures have been put in place to ensure minimal contact with outsiders once the housemates are in the house, and also revealed that the favorite ninjas may not be very visible during the show owing to COVID-19 realities. To end the news, here is a summary of the major stories. The wife of Benue State Governor Eunice Autumn, son, and some staff have tested positive for the COVID-19 pandemic, as death rate in Nigeria has risen to 628. The Nigeria Air Force has taken the delivery of another reactivated aircraft to help sustain the fight against the insurgency and other forms of criminality in the country. We told you that Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has been appointed as the chairman of the National Campaign Council of People's Democratic Party for the September 19 Edo State governorship election. On the foreign scene, you heard that the girlfriend of U.S. President Donald Trump's eldest son has tested positive for coronavirus. That was the news as edited by Uchendu Ejowo. For comments and inquiries, please call 0815-341-8657 or 0814-434-3502 or send your emails to news@todayfmlive.com. You can also read our stories on www.todayfmlive.com. Do not forget, please take responsibility. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water. Always have with you at all times alcohol-based hand sanitizers. Avoid touching your face and eye contact surfaces to prevent the spread of coronavirus. If you can, please do stay at home. Otherwise, observe social distancing. I am Kala Dakaribatbo. Good afternoon.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
I'm fragile. I feel pain. I hurt. I open my eyes. I crave victory. I do not give up. I feel no fear. I fear no man. I create. I conquer. I hold the power.
make a choice. Just decide what it's going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it. Just decide. And then from that point, the universe is going to get out your way.
We can't have another bad year. You've got to get to the point where enough is enough.
It's much easier to come up with excuses and why you can't do it. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. If you do what is easy, complain about your situation, your circumstances, surrender and give up on your dreams, become depressed and bitter and angry. Anybody can do that. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, keep coming back again and again and again. Get up dressed every day.
Take life on. Taking life by the collar. You say, yes, I will do it.
I can do this. And you've said to yourself, I'm willing to face the no's. I'm willing for people to laugh at me. I'm willing to gut this out. I'm willing to make this happen. It's my time. It's possible. It's necessary. It's hard. It's worth it. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I can do it. If anybody's ever done it at any point in time in history, then what's possible for one, it's possible for me, and I'm going to do it. And if you do that over and over and over again, your life will be easy.
This is kind of hard to understand, but sometimes you can try so hard at something. Sometimes you can be so prepared and still fail. And with every time you fail, it's painful. It causes sadness. And especially as I saw last night, it causes disappointment. I've often said a man's character is not judged after he celebrates a victory, but by what he does when his back is against the wall. So no matter how great the setback, how severe the failure, you never give up. You never give up. You pick yourself up, you brush yourself off, you push forward, you move on, you adapt, you overcome. That is what I believe. Everybody here, everybody watching, I won't be stopped. I can't be stopped.
You're either committed or you aren't. You're either willing to do everything it takes, whatever that might be, or you aren't. You either are willing to go through hell and high water and fire and fucking brimstone to get to your goals, or you aren't.
And that's why you'll never be what you want to be. That's why you'll never have what you want to have. That's why you'll never accomplish what you're all over the place.
Success, guys, a very, very lonely road, man. Along that road, you're not gonna see too many friends. You see your shadow most often. You gotta trust in the heart of hearts. Inside what you're doing, what you believe in, is a worthy cause, a winnable fight.
I wish I could tell you you're tired, go take a break. I wish I could tell you you're tired, rest for a year. I wish I could tell you that it's gonna get easier. I wish I could tell you it's gonna get easier. I wish I could tell you that if you just keep going, it's gonna get lighter. The weight is gonna get light. I wish I could tell you that. You get to the point where enough is enough. When you get to the point where it hurt real bad, when you get to the point when it's over, when they're tired, when they're frustrated, when they're ready to give up, when they spent their last dime, that's when they get started. But what you cannot do is you cannot quit doing the process. You cannot give up because it ain't what you see. You cannot give up.
Work on self. Work on your focus. You cannot stop. You gotta work. The problem with you is you see difficult as something negative. I want you to see difficult differently. Are you hearing me? I need you to push through that stuff. Push through it. You can't get through it. The more you go through, the more difficult it is, the more challenging it is. Listen to me, the harder it is. Are you hearing me? The more challenging it is, all you're doing, baby, is building muscles. In life, you're either going to a storm, in a storm, or you coming out. It's a part of life. There's no way around it. So just be careful not to allow the trials and the tribulations to consume you. I don't care if you're a billionaire. I don't care if you're a CEO of one of the most important companies. I don't care if you're an entertainer. Like, I don't care who you are. You can go to the moon. We all have problems. What I'm trying to tell you is this, though. Problems are a part of life. But guess what? They're not life.
It's not going to be easy. There are moments when you're going to doubt yourself. There are rough times are going to come, but they have not come to stay. No matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, you've got to make it your personal business to make it happen. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to make it in life, you got to know your vitamin. You've got to know every no brings you a step closer to a yes. Anybody can stop because someone said no. But there's something in you, in your heart of hearts, that's saying, I'm not a quitter. There's something in you that says, I've got the will to do it. There's something in you that says, I'm going to find a way. People who could help you out and won't help you out because they know too much about you. And they don't believe, they can't see this new you. Don't allow those negative naysayers, the people who are suffering from possibility blindness, to stop you. Detoxify your life. Let all the negative people in your life go. Can I change them? No. It's a full-time job changing yourself. You are not like everybody else. You can walk outside and find pigeons, but if you're looking for eagles, it's going to take you a minute. You are different. And as you think about your goals and dreams, your personal goals, your financial goals, and whatever that number is, I want you multiplied 100 times. And I want to warn you, don't ask yourself how you're going to do it. How is none of your business. I just want you to listen to me. You have something special. You have greatness within you. You have the ability to do more than anything you can ever begin to imagine. You have million-dollar ideas, billion-dollar ideas in you. There are people waiting to hear your voice. You have a vision of yourself doing more, achieving more, taking care of your family, making your mark, leaving a legacy. You were born to be successful. Is it easy? Of course it's not easy. It's challenging. It requires patience. It requires persistence. It requires a willingness to do whatever is required to create a new life for yourself.
Don't be afraid to close your eyes and dream, but then open your eyes and see. For a lot of people, the distance between their dreams and their reality is intimidating, and they get stuck. They get paralyzed, just like I was in that marathon. And the only way forward is to be real about what it's going to take for you to achieve those dreams. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to tell yourself the truth. You have to tell yourself the truth of what it's going to take for you to be successful. You cannot achieve success without failure.
That's why you are here. There's a voice in you that has said,
I can do this. There's something in you, in your heart of hearts, that said, I'm not going to let anybody pull my strings. It said, I'm going to control my own personal economy. It said, I've got a dream I want to achieve. I want my children to have a choice of the kind of education that they want. That said, I am the captain of my ship. That said, I'm going to control my destiny. And whatever it takes, I'm willing to do the work. There was something in you that said, I've got to make this happen. There's something in you that said, there's a bigger life waiting for me, calling my name. There's something in you that says, I'm on my way to a greater life.
I want you to remember 3 things. Number 1, I want you to never be afraid to make a decision. Be decisive. Don't be afraid to fail. Be fearless. Number 2, I want you to remember the power of you. You gotta feel that power. You gotta believe in that power. You have that power, trust me. And last but not least, number 3, can't stop, won't stop.
The most important element is for you to be able to do this, to be able to establish, most importantly, where you really are in your life today. Where are you? Because some of you right now, if you continue the direction you're going, are going to be successful and unfulfilled, unhappy, and stressed.
If I can change, then you can change. Everybody can change.
There are 2 reasons of why people are not successful. There are 2 reasons of why people do not go after their dreams. There are 2 deadly killers of what causes people to give up. There are 2 deadly killers of dreams. There are 2 deadly killers of goals. There are 2 deadly killers of focus and purpose. And one of those things is procrastination. To continue to put stuff off, to continue to put stuff on the back burner, to continue to say, oh, I'll get to that later. Why do we do that? We do that because we're afraid of something. What are we afraid of? Are we afraid of failing? A lot of us are not really afraid of failing, but we're afraid of the unknown. We're afraid of that success. We're afraid of the thing that is going to possibly come to pass. We all say we want the big things, but we're not afraid of how it might change us. So what I want to tell you today is, in the midst of being afraid of being successful, you cannot be afraid of successful. Success will only make you better. Success will only make you better of who you are, a better version of you. Yeah, it's going to change your life. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. Yeah, it's going to change your mind. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. But that is what we call success. You cannot be afraid. There's 2 elements of fear. Fear, 1, is you can forget everything and run. You can forget everything and leave all your dreams behind. You can forget everything and leave your family behind. You can forget everything and leave your goals behind. You can forget everything and leave your purpose behind. Or you can face everything and rise. If you face everything and rise, you're going to face those insecurities. You're going to face those self-doubts. You're going to face the scrutiny of others. You're going to face the lies that people speak. You're going to face everything, and you're going to rise above that. Why? Because you're now focused on your purpose. You're now focused on your goals. You're now focused on who you are, and you're now focused on where you want to be. The other thing that is a deadly killer of dreams is giving up. You cannot give up on yourself. You cannot ever give up on yourself. Why? Because when you give up on yourself, you give up on your family. You give up on your goals. You give up on your purpose. You give up on your future. You give up on your future success. And you just live a basic life. You live a basic life of doing nothing. You live a basic life of just saying, oh, okay, this is just what I'm supposed to do, when you know you have something deeper inside of you. You know you have greater inside of you. You know there's purpose down inside of you, and you have to give up You have to give up on giving up. You have to let go of giving up, and you have to fight. Sometimes it's hard, but you still have to fight. The hardest fight is the fight within. It's not really so much the money issue. It's not so much really the naysayers. It's not so much of what people are going to say, but it's how you perceive yourself. It's the fight of what you think about yourself. So now start thinking positively of who you are. God has made you better than who you are. God has made you stronger than who you are. You can never give up on God, never give up on yourself, and never give up on your dreams.
So as you begin to look at this decade and affirming that this is your decade, as you set goals that will make you stretch, that will bring out the best in you, as you begin to remove the negative, toxic people from your life, as you decide to take some chances in life, and that's one of the things that's very important. This God said, if you're not willing to risk, you cannot grow. And if you cannot grow, you cannot become your best. And if you cannot become your best, you cannot be happy. And if you can't be happy, then what else is there?
Every single thing you said you wanted to accomplish, you wanted to do, guess what? We still got time, baby. It is not lost. You still have time. That's right. You still got time, baby.
Who are you right now? And who must you become in order to create what you want? What has to change about you? What is it that you're doing right now that would be a liability for you? As you begin to look toward the future and take inventory of yourself, what is it about you right now that you've got to leave this behind? Because this no longer fits. Looking at where you want to go and the kind of person that you must become, the kind of standards that you have for you. What is it that you must do differently?
The one commodity that is most valuable on this earth is time. Time to love, time to live. From the moment the human body is born, it begins dying. I don't think you quite caught that. Let me say it again. From the moment the human body is born, it begins dying. Some happen faster, some happen slower. Some of us help them go faster, and some of them prevent it from happening sooner than later. How many seconds, how many minutes do we waste nowhere near the goals and aspirations and passions that we have inside? How many times do you go through the course of a day and realize, did I do anything I set out to do today? Write down those goals each and every day. No matter if it's 2 goals a day, if you can accomplish those, then you're doing more than just making it through the day. You are living and living your dreams. Find time to better yourself. Read, explore, research. Live life. Do things you've never thought of doing before. That's what it's all about. When you're born, that's that date that they put on the left side of the tombstone. When you die, they put another date on the right side of the tombstone. But that dash in the middle is the most important thing on that tombstone. That is a line that throughout that time frame, you were able to impact and touch others' lives. You were able to build a legacy that nobody could change. You were able to have it to where people remembered who you are no matter what. When you're living for that dash in the middle, you're going to remember your why. Your why you're here. Not the why did you do something? Your why, your reason for getting up in the morning, your reason for pushing yourself past the brink of exertion and giving up. Your reason for moving on and getting things done in life. That dash in the middle, that's the thing that pushes you.
How do you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of your physical appearance, in terms of your health? Do you take care of yourself? Are you allowing yourself to get overweight and out of shape? Are you conscious of your health? Are you watching the food that you take into your body? Do you make a deliberate effort to exercise? You know, it was George Burns. He said, we cannot help getting older, but we don't have to get old. And many of us get old before our time because we don't take time to take care of ourselves. Your environment is a very good indicator. On a scale of 1 to 10, is it what you want it to be? Do you find it desirable? Are you satisfied? The job or career that you're involved in. Someone said that 85% of the American public are unhappy with their jobs. Are you spending 8 hours a day just doing time? Doing something that you don't find challenging, that does not make you stretch mentally, that does not stimulate you, that does not inspire you. Something that you don't find a sense of fulfillment in it. If you're doing that day in and day out, it has to affect how you feel about yourself, your level of motivation. Your relationships. What kind of impact is it having on your life? Is it nourishing or is it a toxic relationship? Does it drain you or does it build you up? Ask yourself that. How motivated are you to do something about it? Your contribution, your actions. What are you giving? Many people will leave the universe without a trace. No one will know they were here. And in fact, under their name, we could put under there, not used up. Will anybody know that you came this way? What contribution are you giving? What will you leave? What will be different because you came?
Life. If your why doesn't make you cry, then that's not your why. Again, if your why doesn't make you cry, then that's not your why. Your why should be something so big that it moves your family tree. Your why should be something so big that it changes the whole outlook on how things are with you and your home, your family, your religion, your purpose. Think about your passion. Think about your opportunities. And that's how you find your purpose. OPP. When that why meets up with your passion, your opportunity, and your purpose, then you'll find out. The most important day in your life is the day you remember why you were born.
And you're going to have to look that darkness in its eyes and not look away from the darkness, but rather look straight in the eyes and say, I no longer need you. I am no longer that darkness. And so that darkness will not thrive. It will not survive. That darkness will die. That darkness will go away. Not because you forced it out, but because you no longer fear the darkness. You let go of the darkness, freeing up space for the light. And when the light gains power, when the light regains its power, it will overpower any darkness that may try to seep and seek into your mind and body and life. It will stride far greater than any darkness has. But you must free yourself from the dark by going deep into the depths of it and understanding it. By not running your entire life from it, but instead, right now, today, tomorrow, soon, look it in the eyes and say, I no longer fear you. I have a life to live. Nothing is hopeless. Nothing is worthless. I am powerful. I am beautiful. I am amazing. And it's time for me to start believing it. No longer do I want to stay in the same routine, stay in the same mindset, the same conditioned mind. I want to release the power of my mind. I want to dive deep into the depths of the light, into the depths of inner peace, into the depths of joy and happiness and the state of being, not into the depths of worry and stress and depression and anxiety and shame and guilt, but stay away, not because I'm scared of it, but because I'm free from it, because I no longer need it, because I have one life and I'm going to live it to my fullest ability.
I just knew in my heart to just go all into this endeavor. And so I went, no questions asked. And it wasn't a picnic. The rise up is tough, but it's who you become in the process when you're chasing this unknown, when you eliminate fears. And so my offering is to really analyze what you love to do and to go chase it. Because making money should not be your focus, to do something that you don't really love to make money. What is that? That's all that is a transference of stress. You are taking on stress at this job that you don't like. This is stressful for you, so that you have less stress when it comes to finances. So is that eliminating the stress? No, you're transferring it from finances to eat at a little better place, to live in a little better apartment, to then develop more stress while you're at work. Does that make sense? The money will come when you're really good at something. I can guarantee it. When you really have an effect. Because that will create a polarizing reaction in people. That they will be drawn to you. And you cannot be really good at something if you don't love what you're doing. That's the bottom line. Chase this uncertainty where your heart is telling you to go, because it knows that it will discover itself if you choose to go down this ambiguity, if you choose to go unfold this mystery, because you will discover what you're really made of if you choose to go down this abyss.
See, the thing is, for many people, they've tried the same path you're on, and they failed. As you walk this journey, you're gonna see carcasses all over the place of people that didn't quite have it. That should inspire you, because you got further than that person and that person. But you're not looking to get further than them, you're looking to finish. How do you know you're on the right path? Where do you go to ensure that? Do you talk to your neighbor? No, you don't talk to him. I'll tell you about the neighbor, guys. That neighbor's gonna come in, man, and if you're a little chubby, a little overweight, you'd be like, hey, man, I'm thinking about doing a routine, man, and getting a training program where I lose some weight. He's gonna encourage you at first. He said, yeah, you should. Basically insulting your ass, and you're fat, and you need to lose some weight. It's never support, it's negative shit. Oh, you should lose some weight. So then you take his advice, and you start training, you start doing something, you start to get in shape a little bit, maybe at his level. Then all of a sudden he's gonna start asking questions, his tone's gonna shift, especially as you get in better shape than him. Then he's gonna start talking shit. Because what happens now, guys, is that your success is like a spotlight shining down on their missed opportunities. Success, many will love you for it. The majority will hate you. Because your success makes them feel insufficient in their current endeavor. Reminds them of where they could have done it, but they came up short, and how they didn't revisit it. Where they went at it and failed, and failure is what stood. They never revisited it again. The difference between a winner and a loser, the failure's there every single time. It's just the winner gets back up and does it again, until it goes his way. So now you're down that path and you're all alone. How do you know you're on the right path? How do you know what you're doing is in the right direction? If you're wondering if you're on the right path, look at the small things of life. How do you do them? When you wash your car, you spend an hour washing your car. You finish washing, you put the hoses and everything away and the brushes, and you come outside to look at the job you did, but you notice the spot's missing. What do? Do you re-grab the hoses, pull it all out, and finish the job right, or do you say, you know, it's good enough? And it's good enough. Because the thing about good enough is we don't know if it's enough. Until the nth hour, the final hour, and everything's on the line. That's when we find out if it is enough. And if we come up short, man, doesn't that suck? I promise you guys, if today you never say good enough, tomorrow you'll always have enough. What I'm saying is the character of who you are. It's not the title that makes you, it's not the success that makes you. The character defines the success, defines the fame, and it starts right there. Championships aren't won in the theater of the arena. They're won in the thousands of hours in the training room, in the labs, in the 5 a.m. runs, when it's raining, when everyone else is sleeping. That's when it's won. The heart of a champion is a light switch that's always on. It doesn't go on and off when someone's watching. It's constant. It's how you look at something. If your name's attached to it, that you do it right, the best of your ability every single time.
Today 95.1 FM. To copy this tune, press 9.
This is Today 95.1 FM.
For current news and information, press 5.
They are politicians, all of them. They know what they do.
So they know how they attack each other.
To stay connected all day, press 1.
The person who raised the alarm is the one who made the public know about
it. Good afternoon and welcome to the World News on your Premium Talk Radio.
Let's talk football. Let's talk football.
Let's talk football.
What a devastating strike!
Football is a leisure game.
Sports is actually my job.
Football is boring.
That's not true. It's way more important than that.
As far as I'm concerned, sports is all about passion.
Sports Attack, weekdays 7:30 a.m. and Today's Sports Live 3 p.m. Weekends 1 p.m. to 6 p.m.
For all you need to know in the world of sports, leave the dial on Today 95.1 FM.
What a goal! Hangs it up for Ronaldo. Oh my God!
Experience the glorious goals rush. The heated verbal jabs and even moments of madness. Experience the sensational swings, strokes and shots. The moments of victory and despair. Experience lights out on a majestic night in Singapore and a whole lot more.
On your Premium Talk News and Sports radio station.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Listen to Sports Attack every weekday from 7:30 a.m. and Today Sports Live after the news update at 3 p.m. Stay tuned on Saturdays and Sundays for a bumper edition of Today Sports Live from 1 to 6 p.m. Experience sports in its entirety on your Premium Talk News and Sports radio station. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
My name is Gianni Infantino, FIFA president. For the best of sports, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
You know, there are a few areas that define a man, like sports.
I think we can live with that.
Hello, my name is Kanu Wanko, aka Papilo. For the latest and trending sports stories, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt.
Yes, good afternoon and welcome to Today's Sports Live, the marathon edition of the show this very beautiful but wet Saturday afternoon. I tell you, my name is Victor Oriahi. I am your favorite melanin sports presenter. I'm here in the next 3 hours. I will be letting you in on all there is to know, particularly European football. I wonder why Reliance is But then we'll get to introduce the guys shortly. Of course, you know how we do it right here on the show. The show is reaching you from the studios of your premium news talk and sports radio station right here today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. And like I said earlier, from now till 4 p.m., we'll be talking everything European football, all the major controversies, the goals, the games to expect, the games ongoing. We'll be talking about all of that and, of course, transfers. But, of course, I never do it alone. I have the guys very much here in the building in no particular order. Reliance, is right here. Reliance, good afternoon to you, the classical gentleman.
Say that thing you said before again. Your favorite what?
Melanin sports presenter.
Your favorite melanin sport presenter.
Reliance, welcome to the
show. Honestly, I was anticipating it. I was waiting for it. You know, over time.
And I delivered.
Over time, we've always asked you to give us that affiliations, and I don't know where you carved that one out, but I think it's cool. Your favorite melanin.
Chidubem is responsible for that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Chidubem.
You had to contact Chidubem.
He contacted me. He contacted me to tell me I have something for you. That was on my birthday. I have something for you as your birthday gift. And this was what he coined up.
Oh, really?
And I liked it. So
melanin, favorite melanin sports presenter. Well, the guy is you can go to our YouTube page actually.
Yeah, I'm as dark as they come.
Today from 951 on YouTube. The guy is as dark as I am. We are just dark like that, so you can understand where the melanin is coming from. But it's great to be here. Good afternoon to everyone listening. This marathon edition of Today's Sports Live, and we are here to do justice to football as usual. So hi, greetings to everyone.
Of course, Osas is also here in the studio. Osas, welcome to the show. Good afternoon to you.
All right, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you all out there. Good afternoon, Port Harcourt. Good afternoon to all sports fans around the city, around the nation, and around the globe. It's actually a wet day, but it's going to be beautiful.
And Nathaniel also signs in for this one. Nathaniel, welcome to the show. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon to you all out there. It's good to be here on Sport Live once more again in this cold Saturday afternoon.
Well, of course, you know how we do it right here. The show is packaged to be interactive. So we encourage you to be a part of it by simply hitting us on any of our feedback platforms. Our WhatsApp portal is currently down, so we want you to keep it strictly SMS. And your messages to 0701 933 9962. I take it again, you can send your messages, your text messages only to 0701 933 9962. Or you can also tweet at us at Today FM 951, at Today FM 951. You can copy me. My handle is at Victor Oriahi, at Victor Oriahi. Oriahi is spelled ORIAHI. And of course, Reliance is also here. You can copy him on Twitter as well. His handle is at Reliable Rely. Don't go anywhere. The show begins proper after the show timeout.
Hello, my name is Kanwanko, aka Papilo. For the latest and trending sports stories, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt.
J Slick. Hey. She dey play ball low. Hey. And she dey score goal low. For my heart, you. And she dey give them colo. Hey. Corina, you be my ass now for life, like true love, no be joke, you be my wife, Barcelona, you too tight, you be number one, my left and right, If you be mine, you I go marry you. Devil, that's why I battle you. Chelsea, I too cherish you. They play not small. I didn't feel you. If you be Marcel, I say they play well. By many, I say you too unique. PSG, Roma, Bordeaux, and Leon. They play well, they play ball. For my heart to you, she dey score goal. For my heart to you, she dey give them colo. Hey, she dey dribble them.
Of course, Play Ball by FaZe. Let's get the show on the way. But before we do that, let me come to the guys. I mean, we had quite a week of football. What made the headlines for you this outgoing week? Let me start with you, Reliance.
Well, it has not been as intriguing, should I say, sporting week. Sport is coming back to life gradually. Football,
Formula One,
leading the lines, and then Formula One. The qualifiers should be ongoing as we speak in Formula One, and then no tennis to report. No boxing bouts that we expect. Really been a sport-filled week as usual, because all over the globe we are just trying to come back to life. But I mean, we had a couple of matches in the German. Okay, I think German Bundesliga was
wrapped
done
up already
last week here. Yeah. So we had a couple of matches in the Spanish La Liga, in the Italian Serie A as well.
So out of all these matches, which of them made the highlight for you?
Well, the struggle of Barcelona continues. Luta continua, So I think
they did draw to Celta Vigo and then they won the game. But what about? Okay, let me not say my own highlights, but let me come to you, Osas. What made the headlines for you this outgoing week?
Okay, the outgoing week, coming from Saturday, the headlines for me, I have two in mind anyway. All right. The Barcelona Celta Vigo match, because it's brought to the open a lot of things that have been going on in the dressing room. Then also the whitewashing of Liverpool by Manchester City. I really didn't
champions
know.
Of England.
Yes. So those were my highlights.
Nathaniel?
All right, there have been a lot of spectacular game all over the week, and I think the one that caught my attention most is the one of West Ham against Chelsea, where West Ham beat Chelsea 3-2. By 3-2 aggregate. The result is somehow for me, despite the players that Chelsea have gotten on their cabinet and all that, and they still fall short. I was really surprised anyway. So that's what really caught my attention, and that's what
made the headlines for you.
Yeah.
Well, let's get the show started. After that particular defeat by Tottenham, and then 3 goals to 1 in favour of Sheffield United, Chelsea boss Frank Lampard says there's a need for a big reflection at the end of the season on how to improve the video assistant referee system. Lampard was speaking after Tottenham had an equalizer ruled out against Sheffield United on Thursday because of a Lucas Moura handball in the build-up. VAR adjudged the ball brushed Moura's arm as he fell to the ground before Harry Kane scored. And according to Frank Lampard, he says, "I didn't think it should be disallowed. When I listen to managers complaining or moaning, I understand it. Emotionally, it's really tough to take. I also have sympathy for the referees and in this case VAR officials because there are rules that have been laid down. It was one where common sense could have been involved, but if the rule book states something, then the handball is given." He further added, "VAR has improved us in ways, but there are definitely ways to improve it. I think we need a collective sit down at the end of the season with everybody, referees, managers, players, and anybody involved in football who loves the game can have an input to try to get it closer to where we want it to get to." Tottenham boss Jose Mourinho fears football is going in the wrong direction after that particular controversial match, which is goal being ruled out by VAR. According to Sheffield United boss, who were the opponents, said Chris Wilder, he said the technology was a farce after Harry Kane's equalizing strike was chalked off for handball in the build-up. Lucas Moura's arm appeared to brush the ball as he fell under a challenge. And according to Mourinho, he says the referee is in the office. "I never complain at the guy with the whistle because he is not the referee anymore. I think the referee should always be the man on the pitch and the people in the office should just support and assist. That's not the way it is. The referee who is not very good on the pitch. We cannot expect that he is good in the office. We are going in a direction that is really bad for the beautiful game, the game that everybody fell in love with." Tottenham struggled to find the rhythm after their decision as the Blades eased to victory thanks to goals by Sander Berge, Lise Mousset and Oli McBurney before Kane grabbed a late consolation. Let me start with you, Osas. Now, there have been so much talks about that particular game between Tottenham and Sheffield United, whether it was offside or not. But then, according to the rules, whether it was handball. Well, according to the rules, it was. But looking at what Jose Mourinho said, the referee on the pitch should be the main man, with the referee in the office being the backup.
Yes.
What exactly do you make of this? And do you think currently the way it is in the English Premier League, the referee in the VAR room more of, rules the referee on the pitch?
Yes, it's definite. We've actually talked about this before, and we've come down to the fact that the English Premiership are having the use of the video assistant referee wrongly. I believe and I feel Mourinho is actually correct. At the end of the season, by Lampard anyway, at the end of the season, I think it should be reviewed and let's have the referee at the center of the field have more control over the proceedings during the game than the referee in a particular room.
So how exactly would that work? So if there is a situation, the VAR informs the referee and he has to either go for or against the decision. Now, if you're saying the referee should have more control, how would that work out?
Okay, based on what's happening in the English Premier League, I think the referee should have more control in the sense that if he looks at a decision and doesn't want to go down well with him, and it doesn't go down well with him, he has every right to say, I won't go with what the VAR has said.
Sorry, I've got to bring Reliance in here. Reliance, don't you think the referees already have that decision to go against the VAR?
The referees going against VAR, it shouldn't be. Now,
going against the technology, because now remember we had a situation, I think it was involving Sheffield United, where they had a goal that was in the net, but goal line technology did not inform the referee, so the referee disallowed the goal.
Hawkeye came out to apologize after that one.
After that one.
Now, here's the thing. Here's always my point. Now, it is called video assistant referee, VAR. The guys behind the TV are also professional referees. That must be understood. Sometimes Mike Dean will sit in that place along with other guys. He's a professional referee. Sometimes Matt Atkinson could sit there. He's a professional referee. While the center referee does his job on the pitch of play. But the VAR is supposed to assist the referee make decision, not making decisions for the referee. Now, VAR only come into play when there are significant and match-deciding moments. All right, major deciding moment on the field of play. Then VAR comes into play, comes to take its role and also assist the referee in making decisions. For instance, build up to goals, offside leading to goals. These are deciding moments in any particular football match. And so VAR will come into play to help the referee make decisions. That is how it's supposed to be on a norm, on an ideal situation. But what is obtainable in the English Premier League is that on those deciding moments, the VAR is making decisions for the referee.
So the referee is more of the VAR now.
Now,
main referee.
Now, to add to that, like I mentioned, those guys are the referees. Like the guys behind the TV are also professional referees. But sometimes discretion is called upon from the center referee who is inside the pitch of play to take decision based on his own discretion, not going against the rule. Now, there are rules, postulated and also adopted by IFAB that govern the referees each time they go into the field of play. So the referees are supposed to make decisions, look at, the pitch side monitor where provided, and then make decisions according to the rules provided by IFAB. But what is obtainable in the English Premier League is the VAR makes the decision. Sometimes personal, how should I even put it? Okay, let me stick with the word discretion. Now, personal discretion could come into play where the center referee decides to make a decision, all right, that will not be against the rule, but from his own discretion and also from the momentum and also, from the momentum of the match, he decides to make a decision in that way. But that is not obtainable in the English Premier League. In the World Cup, in the Confederation Cup, in 2016, Confederation Cup, was it 2016? When was the World Cup was 2018. Confederation Cup was 2017. Yeah, when VAR was first introduced. Yeah, that was the line that FIFA told. All right, quickly, you see the center referee running down to the pitch side monitor to observe from different angles. We saw it in the World Cup as well.
Yeah, and also, Russia. We also
and then
see
we
it
also
in other
Women's World Cup, and then we saw it in other leagues as well. Yeah. The Italian Serie A that I follow a lot after the English Premier League, the Spanish La Liga, and even the German Bundesliga. All right. So we expected these changes. Now, many persons will argue that the Italian Serie A did not just have it right at the first point of call. Remember, the English Premier League remains the last league to adopt the VAR. They didn't have it right at the first season. This will be the first season of the of the English Premier League using the VAR. But with the fact that other leagues have succeeded in using the VAR around Europe, other elite leagues now have succeeded in using it. The English Premier League should not have more of a tough time making proper decisions or setting proper strategies in terms of the use of the VAR. So I think at this point, the problem that we have in the EPL is that pitch side monitors, most times I don't even know if they are provided because we don't get to see.
They are provided.
Okay, fine. If they are provided, then the referees don't get to go and see. I'll give you an instance. Let me take us to that Tottenham Hurricane disallowed goal against Sheffield United. Now, there were so many complications around. If you observe, there are about 4 players of Sheffield United on Lucas Moura.
Yeah.
2 is adjudged to have fouled Lucas Moura.
True. So it should have been a free kick.
He fell. Yeah. All right. So at that point, a referee would have awarded a free kick.
Yeah, the referee did give them the advantage.
Now he gave them the advantage to play on. In that, after Lucas Moura fell to the floor, it's his own teammates that picked up the ball, being Hurricane.
Yeah.
And so the referee gave the advantage.
Yeah.
Now that build-up led to a goal by Hurricane, and the VAR decided to come in. Now, the referee, if he asks me, made the right decision giving the advantage in the first place because there were about 3 to 4 players, and Lucas Moura was adjudged to have been fouled by those players of Sheffield United. And so he gave the advantage in that particular situation, which was right. But VAR coming in, that's where the discretion of the central referee will come into play. You run down to the pitch side monitor and observe what is happening. True, there was a foul. There was a handball, rather. There was a foul before the handball. All right? Now, the build up to the goal, there was a handball considered by Lucas Moura. But the central referee would have also used his own discretion to decide the situation surrounding the handball.
Yeah.
Because he decided to give the play on in the first place, being advantage given to Lucas Moura after he has been fouled in that situation. So that's where the discretion of the central referee comes into play. But that doesn't mean that there was no handball committed in the build-up to that particular goal.
All right.
Now, IFAB rule applies in that case. The handball, in whatever situation it is, leading to the goal be disallowed. That's where the VAR came from.
Yeah.
But that's where I'm also coming from, that at that point, the decision made by the central referee in the first place was not wrong, which is give the advantage because Lucas Moura was fouled. So I think to sort out these discrepancies, these controversies most times, in the English Premier League, will be the central referee having to see things for himself at some point. Because in deciding moments, these are deciding moments, defining moments of a football match.
Yeah.
Goal moments, red card. These are, defining moments of any football fixture. All right. In those moments, you need the central referee to take decisions, not someone taking the decision for the central referee. But what will help the central referee to take decision that in the end will be adjudged at least 90% right will be the VAR, but not the VAR doing the decision taking for the central referee. Okay. This is what needs to be, modified in the English Premier League going forward.
Well, Sheffield United have been on the wrong end of some VAR decisions this season, and the Blades boss, Chris Wilder, felt the Tottenham equalizer should have stood. He said there is no deliberate handball in there. I think it is a bit of a fast rule at the moment. We've been the victims of a couple of those decisions. I still don't think it is the right decision, if I am being honest. One has gone for us and we will gladly take that, but I hope the game isn't dominated by that decision and is looked out as a decent performance from us. But now the VAR,
because it will eventually, Sheffield United could be on the receiving end another time. That's where Chris Wilder is coming from. If it worked for me today, tomorrow it could be against me, and it
has been against them for a lot of time.
You get the point.
Yeah. Well, now the big question was, did VAR get it correct? Well, as frustrating as the decision was for Tottenham, VAR was not in the wrong. It was correctly applying the rules relating to handball as they currently stand. Now, according to IFAB, the body that determines the laws of the game, it states accidental handball by an attacking player should only be penalized if it immediately results in a goal or an obvious opportunity for the player and or their team to score a goal. That is, following the handball, the ball travels only a short distance and there are very few passes. End of quote. Whether Tottenham should have been awarded a free kick for a foul or more that led to him handing the ball is another issue. Now, according to various football pundits, ex-England striker Alan Shearer said the VAR referee must be embarrassed to have to go back to the referee and tell him he has to disallow it. The law is awful. While former Newcastle and Tottenham midfielder German Jenners said VAR is supposed to help the game, but it is making it far worse and they need to figure it out. According to Michael Brown, who is a former Sheffield United midfielder, he says Sheffield United will feel finally VAR has come back and helped them. It's a strange one. The rule is there, but Lucas Moura didn't know anything about the rule. Is it the correct decision? Yes, it is. But Spurs are just unfortunate not to score. And according to Jamie Redknapp, he described it as one of the worst decisions he has ever seen. He said, I get the letter of the law, but we have to show common sense. It is accidental. Why can't we show common sense? It is difficult for Michael Oliver. It is the letter of the law, but that is a horrendous decision. Well, we've heard from the pundits right there in Europe. Now we'll be hearing from the pundits right here in the studio.
Just about 90% of them going against that decision.
Yeah. Priye Izogu joins us. Priye, I mean, do you think this IFAB rule needs to be refixed? Talking about accidental handballs. I mean, that case, the Lucas Moura case is just a clear-cut picture. I mean, he accidentally, while being fouled, touched the ball, and then it led to a goal. But according to IFAB rules, the goal is supposed to be disallowed. Do you think that rule should be changed? Or common sense, like most of these pundits said, just needs to be applied more often?
First of all, good afternoon to the beautiful city of Port Harcourt. It's nice always talking foreign, especially European football, because that's one of the most exciting way to ease this current pandemic now.
That's a lie.
Is the current
the most
pandemic
exciting football to discuss is Nigerian football.
Oh my goodness!
The NPFL.
The NPFL. Hey, we're not having that discussion. Focus on the question I asked you.
Reliance. We are talking about football that is in action right now. So I think European football is actually helping us right now. Is the pandemic? We can't take that away from the game. Answering your question, first of all, I think most of these decisions still boils down to the final decision of the central referee, which I think possibly should stand. As Reliance rightly said, the central referee still is controlling the affairs of the game. And some of these decisions may be right or wrong, but it should be left to the decision of the central referee. That's my own personal opinion. Therefore, the handball rule and some quick decisions, I think these decisions are actually quick, and some will take just a few seconds for you to make your decisions, because football is a rolling game, it's an intensity game. So I feel some decision may go against you. That doesn't mean it needs to be changed. It still needs to be there. For me personally.
Okay, so you think the IFAB rule concerning is spot on? It should stand.
It should stand for one important reason. Even when we didn't have VAR, there are some decisions that the referee will see and decide as call it an handball. But some other person is basically accidental. It can still happen. But I think this rule still needs to be there. We are tweaking things too much these days. I feel some of these things just needs to stand, especially going forward with these VAR new rules, especially concerning VAR. I think some of these decisions just needs to stand. We are tweaking things too much, especially the English Premier League. Yeah, tweaking things too much.
Osas, I saw your facial expression when he said the IFAB rule should not be corrected. Do you agree with him? And then, secondly, according to Jamie Jenners, he says VAR is making the game of football far worse. Do you agree with him? And how do you think is the way forward?
Okay, VAR for now is in its early stages. We'll definitely work something out. As it stands, I believe synergy between the center referee and the referees back there is the solution to this, because we cannot say we pull out the rule of accidental handball, because we've seen people like players like Kylian Mbappe do such before. Players like Thierry Henry do such before, bringing in the ball with the hand. How do you judge if this is intentional or not? So these rules should still be there. What I feel is that synergy between the center referee and the referees back in the room, the VAR room, should be. We should match it up carefully. In this particular case, I feel after the judgment from VAR disallowing that goal, the free kick should have been awarded to Lucas Moura. Yes, because the ball of contention here is the free kick. Provided that ball hits his hand, that goal was supposed to be disallowed. Because come to think about it, if maybe the impact from his hand if that impact had directed the ball properly, what would we be saying at this moment? So I feel disallowing the goal was okay, but I think a free kick should have been given to Tottenham to at least ease the tension.
Victor, it is decisions like this that will make some persons want to believe that, the how should I put it? The rules are made for the game, or maybe the game is made for the rule or something like that. Because look at that rule now from IFAB. It looks like football has been manipulated to suit the rule, not the rule coming in to assist football.
But now this rule has always been. I just have to say that.
It has always been there. Now here's the thing. Again, the IFAB rule in this case is a little bit blurry when you compare to, or when you apply to the situation of Lucas Moura, because it says accidental handball.
Yeah.
It does not state clearly what if the player was fouled, like the situation that leads to the accidental handball. The rule is silent on that case.
Well, accidental handball covers everything.
It's silent in that case because, some referees will award a free kick at the spot before it even gets to Hurricane. Some referees will award a free kick because Lucas Moura was fouled. And so the rule is a bit silent. Like this particular one, applying it precisely now is a bit silent on that situation. So that's why I'm saying that in most cases, it wants to look like as if humans are now made for the rule, not the rules for humans, in the game of football. Because in a clear-cut case like this, the center referee should take a decision. Now, whichever decision the center referee took, the goal disallowed, just like Osagi mentioned, the goal disallowed, you award a free kick. I think it would have been the best of option to do, at that point. But nothing in that case was done. That means the foul that was committed on Lucas Moura went free. The players went score free in that case, which is definitely not fair. That's what I'm saying. In any case, the center referee needs to see the pitch side monitor. Controversies like this will be at least up to 70 to 80% eliminated in the English Premier League, where the center referee gets to see the pitch side monitor. Gets to the pitch side monitor and see things for himself from different angles. Now I looked at that disallowed goal. I looked at that Lucas Moura's handball over and over and over. At some point, it felt as if he touched the ball while falling. At some point, it felt as if the player that was also the fourth player of Sheffield United coming in hits the ball to his hand. Something that we used to call ball to one, hand to ball, and all this situation. So it was a complicated situation where the center referee would have been in the best position to make a decision, having to see things for himself in different angles. Not a situation where, because, why are you the center referee if you don't get to make decisions like this?
Okay.
It's basically because, like I said, defining moments like this, you need the decision of the center referee. So the solution going forward would be English Premier League should find a way, make it mandatory, where required, because it was very complicated. You could recall in the World Cup and some other leagues, in a complicated situations like, even sometimes I want to believe, I've not been there, I've not been in a calm room with these guys, but I want to believe that in most cases, the VAR guys, the guys behind the TV will even call the center referee, okay, come to the monitor and see things for yourself when it becomes complicated like that, so that he is still given that mandate, that authority to make final decision. Not the VAR, the guys behind the TV making the decisions for him, Okay. So in complications like this, he needs to see things for himself, and I think going forward, that's one thing that the English Premier League should adopt.
Now, Nathaniel,
I saw that video over and over again on Twitter, and the funny thing about the English Premier League is like they're just trying to be stubborn and trying to feel like they can innovate things when it's not necessary. But actually, right now, it is definitely not necessary for them to be tweaking this kind of things. And they may say it will slow down the intensity of the game due to the fact that the center referee will rush down to the pitch side monitor.
It already slows down.
How many
minutes
wasted?
I remember that particular game between Arsenal and I can't remember.
It took even the VAR guys like 3 minutes to even make their own decisions.
Please.
First of all, they are just tweaking unnecessary for me. And I think those decisions have been there when it comes to the rules of the game. It's not that VAR is actually creating a new rule. It has been there. But the issue is that they are trying to implement it to the letter. And that's the issue. I feel the center referee should be the one protecting the game, not the guys looking at the screen.
Now, Nathaniel, a lot of persons talk about how emotions and common sense have got to come into play. Now, could we now? How exactly do we do this? Do we want the referees, the center referees, to be more of the emotional and common sense kind of referee, or be more of the rule to the letter kind of referee?
First of all, it should be the rule letter kind of referee. One.
So if it's a rule to the letter, if it's a rule to the letter kind of referee, then that decision is
no. To some extent,
that wasn't the referee's decision.
That wasn't the referee's decision. It was a guy behind the screen that gave the decision, and the referee said, "Okay, I wish there is a monitor for the referee on the pitch to look at that scene."
There is a monitor for the referee.
But really,
there is.
No, Victor. About the question. Here are two cases. I think I need to repeat the two cases. Foul was committed.
Yes.
You get the point. That's number one. Referee gave what? Play on. Advantage. Because the ball went to the teammate of Lucas Moura. So he gave an advantage in that case. Was that wrong?
No.
Fine. Accidental handball, according to IFAB rules, means the goal be disallowed. Was it wrong?
No.
So in both cases, you understand? In both cases, they are both right. But this is where common sense comes into play. Which do you go for as the center referee? Using your own discretion. It does not mean at that point, two decisions need to be made. One needs to be taken. And then you need to go back in time. The goal against Chelsea, that Sussex scored against Chelsea.
Yeah.
Chelsea West Ham.
The first one.
The build up to that goal, Mike Antonio was offside. Was in an offside position before Sussex slotted in the goal. The VAR called for the referee's attention, reviewed, and the goal was disallowed, which was right. Now, on what basis did the VAR disallow that goal? Build up. And when we say build up, what are we looking at? Time lapses. So what did the VAR do? The VAR went back to the first incident that occurred before the next incident that was the goal. So if a referee had to make decision in this case, you cannot brand the referee an emotional kind of referee because he decided to look at the time lapse. The two incidents, occurred that were both right in terms of the decision. So referee using his own discretion, being the center referee, at that point we want to, this is what occurred first. My whistle goes for the free kick. You get the point? Yeah. That is where his own discretion comes in. That is where his own supremacy comes in as the center referee. But it does not necessarily mean, and I also want to believe that is where the common sense that the pundits are talking about comes into play, because, like I mentioned, two decisions were supposed to be made in both cases, which were both right. Two events were committed, which were both wrong, and decisions needed to be taken. But you fall back to time and then make decision based on which incident occurred first. That's the supremacy of the center referee. Right. Not being emotional in this case, Victor.
Nathaniel, do you have anything to say?
Yes, like what I want to add to that. First of all, the referee should have been the person giving the final decision, in the sense that how which the referee look at the process in which that ball hit Lucas Moura's hand. How which he review it, went back and see just the way the referee in La Liga do. When they see some certain case, they will go to the
pitch side monitor.
Yeah, they will watch, observe, look over and over again. Because if you watch the process, Lucas Moura was already down before the ball hit his hand. So there's nothing he can do as at that point in time. It was not intentional, though it's accidental anyway. But so I think they should just find me. If I would say anything there, they should just rule out that accidental matter. They should just rule it out, keep it from corner. If not, it's running football.
Until to give a World Cup winner, somebody will win World Cup because of accidental handball.
That disallowed goal demoralized a Tottenham team that day.
Do you know that?
My only issue is that the center referee should be the one taking the decision. That's just my problem with the whole EPL this season. I think that's the biggest problem of English Premier League for this season. That's why people are actually complaining. People are not feeling satisfied as Liverpool emerged as champions. Some persons is because of these issues.
This issue because of bad belly.
This issue is not just because of bad belly.
Why would they be satisfied?
Because of these issues, these contextual issues. I feel it's not about just bad belly. Because I know how game of football is. It's not how it affected Sheffield United. When they had that issues with I forgot the team they played with us 2 weeks back. Some weeks back.
Yes. Okay.
They lost 2 straight games. That's how dangerous this can be. These are teams that are actually struggling to qualify for Champions League. So you don't make such decisions that will affect the team and demoralize the team, and you expect them to just go into the next game and put in a big performance or a super performance. This thing mentally affects players. I always say this: football is first played in the head before your leg.
For sure.
Okay, well, still talking about the English Premier League. Currently, we have one game live on our screen, and that is Norwich City up against Brighton and Hove Albion. 52 minutes of action already gone in that particular centre. Brighton and Hove Albion are leading by a lone goal to nothing right there at Carrow Road. The goal came from Leandro Trossard in the 25th minute. Priya, it seems like Norwich City, they might just be wrapping things up, wrapping their relegation present and delivering to themselves because the way they've been going down, they've been bottom of the table, they're still bottom of the table. Do you think they will be the first team to get relegated this season?
I think so. When they started off this season, I saw the energy and I told a friend of mine that, watch it, Norwich City is going down. And they started like
Timo
a house
Pukki
on
was.
fire. Yes, Timo
They
Pukki
won Manchester City.
Was feeling like
everybody
Maradona
in
at that
Fantasy
particular
Premier
point in
League,
time.
they were putting Timo Pukki.
Yeah, Timo Pukki. Everybody was just shouting like he's going to do something magical. I just noticed that there's something about that Norwich City team that looks like a championship team. Well, first of all, they didn't buy players. Going forward, like a typical team coming from the relegation water, like coming from the lower division. The first thing you do is for you to get some experienced legs, 3 or 4 experienced legs, possibly from a relegated team. Get these players, infuse them into your ready-made team that actually got you qualified to that stage. And this team now, these players now will have like more of the experience. I think the only great player they have here from this Norwich City team, I think, is the goalkeeper. Tim Krul. It's an experienced lad. We see how he tried to like keep this team in this flight in this top flight for some couple of games. After like they had no business even taking a draw from that game. He ends up saving them, possibly making 1 or 2 decisions that will actually help them maybe get a draw or a win. I think they have been terrible this season. They show that they don't actually belong to the Premier League. I think they will be the first team to be relegated.
Okay, well, the sports diva came into the studio to lend a voice on something.
I've listened to you guys a whole lot. Good afternoon, everybody out there. I've listened to you guys a whole lot about the VR issue, and I've heard the guys saying the rule should be changed and all that. But this rule was here before now.
That's what I'm saying.
We should get that right. This rule was here. Now, was the handball decision right from the VAR? Of course, there was an handball. Now, was it incidental or was it intentional? Whether or not it was intentional or it just happened or accidental, the VAR was right. There was an handball decision over there. So the referee actually, though I still stand with the point that the referee should have the final say, but the VAR in that particular incident was right. Now, I've heard Reliance say something about timing and all. Go back to the first incidents that happened, where the foul happened and all that. Now, the VAR followed the decision of the referee in that particular incident. What did the referee do? The referee let the game go on. The VAR used that particular decision from the referee to decide that particular incident. Since the referee let the game go on from that particular handball, and there was a goal, it led to a goal. VAR will use that instead. If the referee had stopped the game for foul or maybe something, I'm sure VAR wouldn't have come in that particular situation. But VAR came in when the referee said, go on, the game should continue, and that led to a goal. VAR decided, okay, we saw an handball somewhere, so we should go back and check that incident if the goal should be disallowed or allowed. And that was where VAR came in. I've heard the whole guys talk about this, but then I'm still not satisfied with their decision on what they said the rule should be changed. If this rule wasn't here before VAR came, that would have been an issue. But the rule was here. Now let's go back to the World Cup where we saw Uruguay versus Ghana, where Luis Suarez had to score a goal. And still to today,
just
Africa is still angry. Now the thing is, if there was a VAR, what would have happened? The goal would have been disallowed. That goal would have it would have been disallowed. It was a handball. The goal would have been disallowed. So it's just that the VAR is there. I know the VAR in the English Premier League have caused a lot of rancors and all that. A lot of persons are doubting the VAR's efficiency when it comes to the English Premier League, and because of the decision the VAR has made that the referees do not have the final say, should not go to the pitch-side monitors to check for themselves. That is the issue England is having. But in that particular situation,
I've got to come into here now. Is it a situation where the English Premier League gave an instruction that the referee should not check pitch side monitor, or the referee do not want to check pitch side monitor, because I have seen a particular referee in just one Premier League game this season using the pitch side monitor.
But that was after a whole lot of fans and a whole lot of friends came out to say, no, the English Premier League should allow refs go check the pitch side monitors. And that was where we saw those two incidents that happened in that particular situation. Now, this particular VAR coming in to disallow a goal, it happened to West Ham, Declan Rice, especially, where he scored the goal. And then they went back to look at the build-up. There was a handball, and they disallowed it, the Declan Rice handball. So all these things, you could say it's not right. Some persons are saying it's not right. They should use common sense. In football, referees should not be. I don't think there should be a common sense to it. The referee should follow the rule book. That's why you're a referee. You should know what is right and what is wrong. Yes, you could say sometimes we've seen referees at their own discretion let things go. In the penalty box, we've seen some people say, "Oh, it's a very soft penalty." Some say it wasn't intentional, but it is still a foul, and the referee will award the penalty. Or the VAR or the penalty. So these things here, you could say you don't like it, but the rules are there to stay. I remember just last season, in the last year, in the Wimbledon, where because of the method Wimbledon uses to decide to seed their players, Rafael Nadal, who was world number 2, became world number 3, and persons were like against it. But it's the rule, and they have to follow it. The rule book says, when there a build up to go, if there was a foul or a handball, it should be disallowed, and that was what the VAR did, and it followed the decision of the referee. First of all, for allowing play to go on. So I don't see any reason for us to say it wasn't right or it wasn't wrong or the rule should be changed. The rule was here before VAR came. I know they are trying to tweak the rules to aid VAR sometimes, but this particular rule has been here and it should stay.
Oh, Victor, let me just come in here. Have there been cases in football matches where referee takes a decision, VAR calls attention, he goes back, look at the pitch side monitor, and then overrule his own decision? Have there been cases like that?
Yeah.
Now, if there have been cases like that, VAR followed the referee's decision to allow the game to go on, isn't it? What if in a case where the referee goes to the pitch side monitor and overrules his decision to allow the game to go on? Because the argument right now is that the VAR made a decision based on the fact that the referee has allowed the game to go on. So what if the referee goes to the pitch side monitor, observe what happened, and then overruled his decision to allow the game to go on?
That's it. It's allowing the go.
Are we going to have that controversy? We are not going to have. So, see, no matter how much we want to go back and forth with this whole argument, the point is, referee have got to see things for himself.
Simple.
The center referee have got to see things for himself and make decisions.
Okay.
That's it's not. It's as a league body to decide.
Go back, go front, go back. Like I said, both decisions in those cases were right to call for the referee's attention. The foul, the play on, the disallowed goal, they were all right. But discretion, there is no way he can take it away. The rule is there. You get the point. The rule is there, but discretion will always come.
Now discretions. I recall making decisions.
Exactly.
I recall.
I remember saying there's timing. There's timing to this.
This is a clear case where discretion comes into play.
No. I think no.
Should the rule? Relax. Hold on.
I saw that video over and over again. Now you made mention of 3 scenarios, and in football you have to look at it systematically. You have to follow it to the letter. Now the very first incident was the one of the foul. Now the referee allowed it to play on, and it got to the attention. They got to the next player, Harry Kane. Before leading to Harry Kane, we saw the handball. That means the next decision is what? Handball. So if they decide to call it back for a handball, it's right.
Well, did I say
that is typically that is
right?
Did
I say it's wrong?
No.
I never said any of the decision made on the day was wrong.
Reliance.
I never quoted any of the decision was wrong.
If that decision was against,
referees take decisions on the field on the field of play, goes back to the pitch side monitor and decide to overrule that decision. And there were 2 clear-cut cases now that happened in that football match. And then the referee possibly going back to the pitch side monitor and decides to overrule his own decision to allow play to go on and call for a foul. What happens in that case?
I feel it was wrong.
That was not the question. Should there be discretion? discretions when a referee is making decisions.
No.
On the pitch of play, because you know it's going to hamper a lot of things in that game.
They need to follow the rule book.
Common sense when he is deciding or he's
should be the
making
rule
a
book.
rule on the rule
They are
on the pitch of play.
trained
What
to this.
is wrong
to do this.
about overruling the fact that? What is wrong about overruling the fact that
I gave a play on I was not supposed to give?
Okay.
No.
A play on that was not supposed to
What's
give.
wrong about that?
I don't understand.
No, he was supposed
You're confusing
to
me
give.
now.
The
That's
play
the
on
play
is okay.
on.
It's
That's
a
the
play
play
on.
on.
Advantage.
It's an advantage.
It's an advantage. So the referee gave
It's
it.
simple. He
In
gave
any
it.
case.
So the guys
I feel the center
okay,
referee should say things for himself.
let's do this voting now.
I feel
the rule book versus personal interest, or how do you pronounce it?
There's nothing like
discretion.
There's nothing like personal interest.
Discretion rather.
The center referee take decisions according to the rules. Yeah. Each time he goes in there to officiate any particular match. There's nothing like personal interest, nothing like emotion or whatsoever. You know, it's according to the rule.
Wisdom. I believe.
Victor.
Victor. I believe. What happened here was the referee didn't see everything clearly.
Yes.
Right on the pitch of play. Yes, he saw that there was an infringement, and also based on the rules, what follows since it went back to play was an advantage. And VAR, being an assistant to him, called him back.
Attention.
Yes, called him back to say this goal should not be, because there was a handball within the build up to the goal. What we are saying here is, what I am also saying is, the referee should be given full control over the game. He doesn't need to be pressed to take what the VAR has said. What I feel he should have done there was to come up and say, okay, fine, it's not a goal, but let's go back.
Victor,
let's go back to.
Is this the first time we've seen referees not making decisions on their own?
Nope.
This season has it not been VAR decision making EPL we are seeing this season.
That's what we are saying.
So now the point is, we don't care about. Yes, we are clamoring for referees to get the final decision when it comes to rule making in the English Premier League. But until next season, when they decide that okay, it is okay that the English Premier League decide that it is okay for referees to go to the P-side monitors to look at these things for themselves and make the right decision for themselves, then right now that's not the decision. That's not at all what this argument should be. It should be, is the VAR right or wrong? Obviously, it was right because there was an infringement, which was an handball that led to a goal. Thank you.
Okay, well, that is gospel according to Dorcas.
She's leaving us.
And you know how they do it in movies when you just drop one punchline and you're like, drops mic. That's exactly what she did. Well, moving on the show. We'll just make a quick correction. In the World Cup incident, it didn't lead to a goal. It was supposed. He was given a red card eventually.
He was given a red card. I led to a penalty for Ghana.
I think there was actually two incidents in that game. One, I don't know, but one of the penalty.
It was Suarez restricting the ball from
and
going.
he was given the strict red.
And a penalty.
And they missed the penalty. I think there was another incident in the game, but I can't actually remember right now.
Well, of course, some games will be played shortly in the English Premier League in less than 2 hours. I mean, 1 hour, just a few minutes. Leicester City will be up against Crystal Palace, and Manchester United will face AFC Bournemouth. Then by 5:30 p.m., it'll be Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Arsenal. And the last game of the day will see Chelsea tackle Watford. The game on our screen, of course, is still Brighton and Hove Albion leading Norwich City by a lone goal to nothing. But let's start talking about the matches to expect later this afternoon, as Brendan Rodgers is speaking about Leicester City's chances of qualifying, of making it to the UEFA Champions League. Let's hear from him this afternoon.
We're still in a brilliant position. I wouldn't swap it for any other position. And for us, it's the case of just, like I said, going in and playing with that freedom, all within the structure of how we work, being really aggressive in our attack and our defence, and then letting our talent work for us. And that's something that's worked for us over a period of time now. And like I say, we're in a little period where, okay, maybe the confidence does take a hit, but it's a case of, again, just the importance of our perspective and looking to get going again. And you do that by working hard and tirelessly, and then hopefully the luck changes for you.
Number one, my left and right, If you be mine, I go marry you. You be red devil, that's why I do you.
That is Brendan Rodgers right here speaking about Leicester City's chances of making it to the top four. Let me start with you, Nathaniel. Leicester City take on Crystal Palace. First of all, how do you see that match panning out? Do you think Leicester will be able to get their groove back on. I mean, they have been pretty poor since the restart of the English Premier League. They've lost quite a number of games. I think they lost their last 2 games, and they drew against Brighton and Hove Albion, and then against Watford as well. How do you think they'll be eventually able to bounce back, yet to register a win since the restart?
Yeah, for sure. But because they need the 3 point very, very importantly, they need to win this game. But I still fear for them because Crystal Palace, they're not an easy side to just come and win, most especially when they are always at away. They are good in playing away matches. So I pray that they should
last away game at Brighton, they won that 1 goal to nothing.
Yeah. So
but they lost to Liverpool at Anfield 4 goals to nothing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's true.
That's Liverpool.
Yeah, but Crystal Palace, they're a very good side, and Jimmy Vardy needs to.
Yeah, it seems like his head isn't back in the game. I mean,
that's their major problem. How they don't have
just 2 goals this year for Jamie Vardy.
Just imagine.
Well,
that's a major problem.
Leicester City's and their chance of making it to the top 4. Looking at the serious battle going on in the English Premier League right now, you have a certain. I'll just leave Manchester City up there. You have Leicester City, Chelsea, Manchester United, Wolverhampton Wanderers, Sheffield United, Arsenal. And
don't call
Arsenal, please.
Don't do that for us, please.
Okay, so we end at Sheffield United. You have all these teams battling for top 4 finish. Do you think Leicester will be able? There was a point in time where Leicester were 3rd, and there was a gap of almost 15 points between them and 4th place Chelsea. Right now, there is just 1 point. 1 point separating themselves with Chelsea. Do you think they'll be able to stake a claim for that Champions League position?
I think the basic problem of Leicester coming in after the resumption, I think, is 3 things. One of them is the manager. The second is Maddison, and the third one is the synergy and belief. Let's start with the manager, Brendan Rodgers. I see him as this man that always fizzles out when it matters most to his team. He fizzles. He tends to like chicken out. What do I mean by this? We saw him in Liverpool. Particular period he was leading with over 11 points. Coming to the tail end of the season, he dropped so many points. At the end of the day, he could not win the title. Let's leave that aside. Let's look at his staying now in Leicester City and some other teams like Southampton. He always fizzled out when it matters much, and that is a big problem for the manager. I think it's a psychological downplay for him. I think he needs to work on that. And this season, he lost to Aston Villa, semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. The same thing. When he was in top form, he lost. I think that's a very big issue. I think he needs to work on his mental strength to finish up a season, because the season is a marathon. You don't just start very well and end badly. You have to start very well, walk through the season, and end in a good shape. And I think that's the basic problem of the manager. Then secondly, Maddison. I feel the likes of Tielemans and they tried playing Albrighton and the other guy in the middle of the park.
Right.
The other guy in the middle of the park, trying to remember him, that's pairing with Albrighton. Yes, Ayoze Perez. They are not creating enough since the absence of Maddison. And you don't have a Vardy when you don't have a creator in the middle of the park. I think that's the basic problem they're having now. And Leicester City is built on counter-attacking play. They have PC players. So if they are playing a lower team that will not come at them, that will sit back and wait for them to bring it to them, they really need creativity. And that is where Maddison needs to come into play. I think he has been injured. He has not been too fit since the resumption of the season. I think that's a very big problem to them. Then the synergy in the team. I feel players in the team, they are like feeling like they have achieved a lot. If you see the body language.
But they've achieved nothing.
Yeah, but they have achieved nothing. I think they really need to change that mentality till the end of the season. They need to see off the season. They're actually not in any competition right now, just the Premier League. So they need to see off these games. Manchester United are still chasing for Europa League competition.
Chelsea
Same with,
still in the FA Cup.
Not Chelsea. No, Chelsea is still in the FA Cup, but not in the Champions League.
They are still in the Champions League.
They are sleeping in the Champions League. They are sleeping in the Champions League.
I don't know.
But we know it's no magic in football for you to go down to Allianz Arena to get that result they want. It's no magic. Football is not magic. So I'm concentrating on just the league. I think the manager should just gather his last round and try to see how they can grab this point, especially very important game, their game against Manchester United. Today game and their game against Manchester United. That will be one of the big deciding factor for them this season.
Reliance, I almost said Priye again. Reliance, looking at Kelechi Iheanacho and his Brendan Rodgers came out a few days back after Iheanacho got them that one goal, the consolation goal in their last defeat, and he said Iheanacho is a very key player. Do you think he should be given a chance ahead of Jamie Vardy this period?
No, now. How did you even think of that? Vardy may have been poor since the restart, but we are still talking about the leading goal scorer in the English Premier League.
Well, just to bust your bubble, this lineup is just came out, and it looks like Iheanacho will be pairing with Jamie Vardy today.
Yeah, that's not giving him a nod over Jamie Vardy, but it has always been a second striker position for Kelechi Iheanacho. I mean, many persons will tell you that you should, recall the man back to play as a second striker, a supporting striker to Jamie Vardy, and that is something I expected Brendan Rodgers to do in their last match against Everton, which Everton defeated them 2-1. But instead, he opted for bringing in Demarai Gray. He depended on those pieces at the wings, whereas Carlo Ancelotti had a way to lock those wings, and so they couldn't penetrate. So Iheanacho should start alongside Jamie Vardy. At least the man hasn't been bad. He has had goals. Even in the Carabao Cup before the eventual elimination by Aston Villa, but at least he has been able to provide those consolations goals as sometimes the winning goals for the team. So he seems to have found his mojo back, not entirely 100%, but at least the man deserves a chance at this point. But for Leicester City, Victor, qualifying for the Champions League would take, in fact, at this point, like a higher, like a greatest mountain to climb. Look at the fixtures. Now, they still have Arsenal to play. They still have, let me leave Bournemouth. They have Sheffield United to play. They still are in that spot. Although I feel somehow Sheffield United are out because 47 points, the other guys are at 52. There you see Chelsea with 54. They still have a Jose Mourinho Tottenham to play. That's Leicester City. They still have Manchester United to play. That's Leicester City. So when you consider the fixtures, and Manchester United is eyeing that Champions League spot. In fact, they're even trying to usurp Chelsea. Chelsea is just 2 points ahead of Manchester United at the moment on the table. Sheffield United are also eyeing that spot. Arsenal is eyeing Europa League spot. Tottenham is eyeing Europa League spot. It's how it is. So these clubs are somewhat eyeing, European competition, and Leicester still have these clubs to play. So when you put all of this side by side, I tend to believe that Leicester are already out of the Champions League because in 4 matches, 2 defeats, 2 draws since the restart, that's not the kind of momentum you want to fight for a Champions League place.
Well, speaking now, we move to the next game to expect that will be played at Manchester United versus AFC Bournemouth, and Manchester United coach Ole Gunnar Solskjaer admits that Mason Greenwood has more talent as a teenager than himself. While as he applauded the 13-goal forward. Well, Greenwood has enjoyed a breakout season at Old Trafford and provided both a goal and an assist in the midweek win at Brighton and Hove Albion. The England Youth International has offered 10-year-old soon moving into a central striking role he occupied in the academy. Speaking ahead of Saturday's Premier League meeting with Bournemouth, the manager says Greenwood has made much more progress than he had made in the same stage of his career. Let's listen to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer speaking about Mason Greenwood.
Sky's the limit. It's up to him. He knows what he should do and can do and must do to keep on playing. And but that'll be between us. He's a centre forward by trade, but he likes to drift wide. He likes to face forward, like we have done with Marcus and Anthony as well. They're good centre forwards, very good footballers, good goal scorers. And with good movement. They're not stuck between the posts. Mason's way ahead of what I was when I was 18, 19, that's for sure. but he's got a knack of scoring goals. I don't really want to say anything different because it's natural for him, and it was what I felt I could do well as well. So no, it's a brilliant boy to work with, and he keeps on learning, keeps on making better and better decisions. So he'll be good.
Well, Bournemouth, their opponents this afternoon, who are currently 19th on the Premier League, they have their manager Eddie Howe speaking about his future at the club. Maybe he will be sacked, maybe he wouldn't. Let's listen to Eddie Howe.
It's not helpful and productive in any way. What am I going to do? Sit at home and worry about my future? No, I'm going to try and make the team play better and try and focus all my energies on what we deliver on the training ground. I'm a realist. I know that football is about results. Doesn't matter how long you've been at a football club, you need to win games. Huge percentage of people will say we're done, we're finished. But historically at this club, that's always been the way in many different aspects. We've been written off and we've managed to overcome that mindset, and against the odds we've come through and achieved great things. And we're going to have to call on all of those resources now.
I also spoke about Steve Cook's comments after their last game, their midweek game. Let's listen to him one more time.
Steve Cook said after Newcastle that you played like kids and it was embarrassing.
Listen, I don't think they're helpful for us. I think when you don't perform well, I think everything needs to be internal. That's always been how I've worked. We keep things in-house. I don't think it's healthy to view ourselves or read ourselves in that way. But certainly staying together and staying unified and staying positive with each other vocally is hugely important. Nothing can change the past, change the future. And the only way we're going to do that is to stay with each other.
Well, let's start with Eddie Howe's comment about Steve Cook. Now, he said something very important, and I'm coming to you, Osas. He spoke about how, for him, he believes these kind of issues should be internalized and not brought out to the front. Steve Cook said they played like children in their last game because they lost that game woefully. I'm trying to remember. Played their Newcastle United, and they were beating 4-1. And of course, Steve Cook did say that they played like children. They've been on a losing streak since the restart. 4 losses, yes. 3 losses since the restart. What do you make of that particular mentality from Eddie Howe? Having to keep things internal, having to keep it indoors, rather than come out to publicly criticize yourself?
I think I agree with him. Football is a game that has to do with emotions, that has to do with the mindset. So most of the times when things like this filter out into the open, you create an unstable state in your team. So I believe what he said was right. Deal with whatever comes up internally and improve from there than letting it out, because it can bring an unstable state.
Okay. Well, Priya, where did it go wrong for Eddie Howe and his Bournemouth team? 2 wins in their last 12 games. This was, do you think his future, whether he says it or not, he said that he's not going to be talking about this, he just wants them to win matches. Do you think it is bye-bye to him and Bournemouth?
I think he has overachieved with the finance that
he has overachieved.
He has overachieved as a manager in that club. He has done a lot from the club since when he came in some couple of seasons back, bringing them down to the Premier League, and they have been in the Premier League for like 3 seasons now. My memory serves me right. I think he has done a lot for the club. But going forward, if things are not happening right, if what you are actually implementing is not working, you have to change your plan. And if your plans that you're changing is still not working, you have to leave the club. That's how football is run. And the football is the club is the barrack, and the players and the managers are the soldiers. So if it's not working, you have to leave. But he has done a lot for the club. They cannot take that away from that manager. I feel he needs to.
He has some.
He has brilliant players. It's not about the players. It's not about the players here now. It's about pushing up, changing your momentum, improving your game, implementing the manager's style of play.
So you think the players, the likes of Dominic Solanke, Joshua King, Harry Wilson, that applies their trade for Bournemouth, you think they are not doing enough?
They are not interpreting the manager's formation and style of play. That's exactly what's affecting the team for this season. That's exactly what is happening to Bournemouth. We know how Bournemouth play. They play the high pressing. They're quite similar to what Liverpool play. They press you in your half. They like pacey wingers, and it's not working for them this season. That means for me personally, I feel it's either he changes style of play or he leaves the club, because I feel for myself personally, he has done a lot for the club. He serves to be a legend in that club as a manager. But continue going forward, he just needs to change his style of play, possibly tweak his formation a little bit. That's exactly what is even happening to Brendan Rodgers. The 4-1-4-1 has been understood by many clubs, so you need to change the style of play. Same with that of Bournemouth. They need to change the way they approach game. If they don't change it, they'll keep losing.
Reliance?
You mentioned Dominic Solanke. Who again did you mention?
Joshua King,
Wilson, and I'm like, who are
Jefferson
they?
Lemar.
Who are they?
I mean,
who are they?
Are they strikers? Who are they?
They are mid-table strikers. They are good enough for mid-table teams. For me.
See,
Chelsea was it not Joshua King they were pursuing at the point in time, or even Harry Wilson as well?
There are clubs in the English Premier League that have players that, if you want to compare to the players you mentioned, you see that these players are a little bit above them in terms of performance, in terms of quality. All right. So,
let me just say something. For example, look at a Sheffield United team. Which player can you mention in Sheffield United? I mean, that team they look like they do not have more of the prolific players. But when you compare the players that Bournemouth have, they are somewhat better individually, even with their career achievements, compared to those of Sheffield United. But look at Sheffield United's position on the league, and look at Bournemouth, 19th.
The best that Eddie Howe can achieve for Bournemouth, he has achieved for them. Recall that it's not his first stint with Bournemouth. He coached Bournemouth, I think, 2009. I think he brought them from relegation to the league, far back to 9. He stayed with the team for a while before he left. In 2012, he rejoined Bournemouth again. From 2012 till now, how many seasons?
That's almost 8.
The best he can achieve for that club, he has achieved. So if the club decides to let him go, fair enough. If he decides to leave the club, fair enough. Because at this point, the only magic that Eddie Howe can perform for Bournemouth right now is go shop for players that are above the level of players that you have.
But do you think they'll be relegated eventually?
Or will they be relegated?
They are currently 20. They are 19th. They are 19th on the table, 27 points, and same with I think Aston Villa. Aston Villa also have 27 points.
And just how many matches to go? Just about 4 matches to go, right?
6 matches to go.
6 matches still left.
Yeah. So there's a mathematical chance.
There
are plenty. No. It's not even a mathematical. It's very, very obvious. I mean, Watford are out of the relegation zone. They are 17th. They have 28 points. West Ham United have 30 points. All they need to do is win one game. West Ham lose one game. They are out of the relegation zone.
They'll be relegated.
They'll be relegated?
Yes, they will. Look at the fixtures they are going to play. Now, let me bring it to you. They have Manchester United to play. They have Tottenham to play. They have Leicester City to play. They have Man City to play. They have Everton to play.
Okay.
So tell me how they're going to come off.
Goodbye.
And funny enough, there was a point in time Arsenal was even chasing for that man to be their manager. Yes, there was a point in time. That was how good he was.
It's Arsenal now.
Seasons ago.
What do you mean by that?
He's trying to say that. Well, I'm not going to Well, real quick, Osas, this man, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, talking about Mason Greenwood and his future at the club. He's talking about introducing Mason Greenwood as a centre forward. He said that's where he played at while he was in the academy system. Do you think that would be a good idea if Mason Greenwood eventually...
What happens to Marshall? That's my question.
Is Marshall even a centre forward?
But for now, he's the centre forward in Manchester United. What happens to him? You don't just introduce young players this way, else you cause a disrupt of what you've built. Now, imagine him bringing in Greenwood as a speaking, and Marshall is dropped. There are some players that have affinity for Marshall. Then you bring something into the team that a team you've built for a while now. You just pull it down. Yeah.
All right. Well, for you, Nathaniel, do you think this man, Mason Greenwood, he might just be breaking into the limelight? He has 13 goals already this season. Probably counting. Solskjaer is talking about him while he was a teenager and saying he did more. He has achieved more than he achieved. And I don't know Priye's beef with Solskjaer. Maybe he stole his girlfriend, but Priye has been shouting, "Who asked him? Who asked him? Let me come to you. Do you think Mason Greenwood has what it takes to be the next star in the English Premier League?
Whenever I watch Mason Greenwood, it reminds me of the days of Van Persie, likes of Robin, the way they move the ball, they cut into the middle of two defenders, just strike just like that. Mason Greenwood can play central forward, he can play from the right, he can play from the left. He's a very good striker, and I believe he will do very well.
I think that's my problem with what's happening in Manchester United right now. And that's my basic problem. He can do here, he can do here, and he can do here. I think they need a centre forward. They need a proper centre forward. They need a proper box striker. Martial is not a box. Martial is not a box striker. Now, Igalo is not a long-term plan.
Yeah,
we should not take that away from Manchester United.
But definitely, if a player is going to replace Martial, it shouldn't be Greenwood.
It shouldn't be Greenwood. First off, I think those players are not even centre forward. To me, Martial is not a centre forward.
Yeah,
I saw an article online where Igalo is actually teaching him how to do the hold on play right now.
Okay.
Because as a physical striker, as a point man, you have to have that hold on play. We have the likes of Suarez, Aguero, Diego Costa. They can hold on to the ball for the other players to come in.
Yeah. Okay.
They can control the ball from the air. That's one quality of a centre forward as top 9. Top 9 doesn't need to cut in and break. Yeah, you can do that once in a while. But your ability for you to hold on play. How dangerous are you in the middle, inside the box, the 18-yard box? That's how good a centre we assess a centre forward. A typical example, Ronaldo Delema. He wasn't that tall, but when he's inside that box, he is very, very smart and deadly. That's what you want from a centre forward. And I think Manchester United have great wingers.
Okay.
Rashford can play from the flank very well. You can't take that away from Martial. Same with Martial. Same with Lingard and the rest of the guys. You don't have a proper centre forward. That's why Igalo that's even aged, is doing better. He's seen like a magician because he's only player that can actually hold on to the ball in the middle of the box. And I think that's what they are lacking right now. Manchester United have a good bunch. What they are creating right now from the defense to the midfield, they are creating something great.
Yeah.
I'm observing right now with the signing of Bruno Fernandes, a creative midfielder which they have not had for a while right now. He's very, very creative. Then the long pass, Martial himself, Boba, who is doing the business as a central striker, central midfielder these days, which I prefer him not just moving around as an attacking midfielder. Now it's more central, and they have the defensive ability of Matic and Fred. They are building something great. I think what they need now is a proper centre forward, a proven goal scorer, like the likes of Harry Kane, somebody that when he sits in the middle of the box there, he can do magic. He can create goal out of nothing. Now let me tell you something. Some of the goals when Diego Costa was in Chelsea, the goals he created for Willian and Hazard was out of nothing. Yeah. Possibly a pass from the goalkeeper, brings the ball down. He controlled the ball and he just passed it to one of the wingers and he converted, and it's a clean goal. Same with the Drogba. Most of the goals he created for Frank Lampard was the same thing, out of nothing. An assist from Peter Cech, he controls it for any of the wingers, and I think that's what Manchester United needs right now. They need a proper centre forward.
Well, speaking about the Manchester United game versus Bournemouth, the lineup is already out, and Manchester United will be playing in a 4-2-3-1 formation. David De Gea starts in goal for them, and the four-man defense is Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire, and Luke Shaw. Sitting just in front of this defense line is Paul Pogba and Nemanja Matic. Mason Greenwood plays at the right side of midfield, Marcus Rashford at the left, and Bruno Fernandes is the central midfielder right there, playing just behind Anthony Martial, the lone striker of the day. On the bench for Manchester United is Eric Bailly, Juan Mata, Andrea Pereira, Fred, Daniel James, Sergio Romero, Odion Jude Igalo, Scott McTominay, and Brandon Williams. While Bournemouth play in a 4-4-2 formation. Aaron Ramsdale starts in goal for them. Diego Rico, Lloyd Kelly, Nathan Ake, and Adam Smith make up the four-man defense. While in midfield is Junior Stanislas, Jefferson Lemar, Lewis Cook, and David Brooks. While up front they have Joshua King and Dominic Solanke. On the bench for Bournemouth is Otto Boruk, Dan Gosling, Andrew Sorman, Jack Stacey, Harry Wilson, Arnold Danjuma, Harry Wilson, Philip Billing, Mark Travers, and Sam Surridge. While for the game between Leicester City and Crystal Palace,
Jay Slick.
Leicester playing a 4-4-2 formation. Kasper Schmeichel starts in goal for them. James Justin, Johnny Evans, Kagla Soyuncu, and Ben Chilwell make up the four-man defense. Jose Perez, Yuri Telemans, Wilfred Ndidi, and Mike Albrighton playing midfield, while up front is Kelechi Iheanacho and Jamie Vardy. On the bench for Leicester is Wes Morgan, Demarai Gray, Danny Ward, Harvey Barnes, Hamza Chowdhury, Nampalys Mendy, Dennis Praye, Christian Fuchs, and Ryan Bennett. While for Crystal Palace, they play in a 4-3-3 formation. Vicente Guyata starts in goal for them. Van Aanholt, Sako, Gary Cahill, and Joe Ward make up the four-man defense. Jairo Ridwald, Luka Milivojevic, and James McArthur will be right there in midfield. And up front is Wilfred Zaha, Christian Benteke, and Jordan Ayew. On the bench for Crystal Palace, Scott Dan, Max Meyer, Cheku Kuyate, Andros Townsend, Wayne Hennessy, James McCarthy, Sam Woods, Tyreek Mitchell, and Brandon Pierre. Reliance would be giving us the fixtures of games to expect across Europe's major leagues.
Of course, on our screen we have the match involving Norwich City taking on Brighton and Hove Albion. And you see Brighton and Hove Albion leading Norwich City by 1-0. The match is at the 92nd minute. That's plus extra time. 6 minutes added already to that particular fixture. Later on, by 3 p.m. will be Leicester taking on Crystal Palace. FC Bournemouth will be away to Manchester United at Old Trafford. Wolverhampton Wanderers will be at home to welcome Arsenal. Why? By 8 p.m., Chelsea will take on Watford. In the Spanish La Liga, we are expecting an encounter between Celta Vigo against Real Betis. Real Valladolid will take on Deportivo Alaves. Granada will be at home to welcome Valencia. And then to the Italian Serie A, 3 matches will be decided today, with the first one being Juventus taking on Torino, and Lecce will travel all the way to Sassuolo to play their own fixture right there, and Lazio will be at home to welcome AC Milan.
And I think there is a final in Germany. I think the DFB Cup, Bayern Munich.
Bayer Leverkusen
versus Bayern Leverkusen.
Yeah.
That should be by 7 p.m.
Yeah, Bayer Leverkusen, Bayern Munich.
But shortly we will be going to the phone lines to get to hear your thoughts. So just start getting ready. Of course, we talked a lot on the show already from the VAR. Do you think our IFAB rules need to be adjusted? And what do you make of everything we've talked about? But before we go to the phone lines, let's hear one more time from the coach of Wolverhampton Wanderers, Nuno Espirito Santos, speaking on Wolves' home game against Arsenal later this afternoon.
There never was, never will be, because it's day by day. Tomorrow is Saturday and we play Arsenal. It's a good number. It says that it reflects 3 years of work and a lot of people involved during these 3 years. We are proud of our sins and we want to compete.
To be champion, Laila, you know go lose. Do they make them shit? They got me Real Madrid. I say you too real. AC Milan, you're my number one fan. Inter Milan, baby, I'm your main man.
Well, that is Nuno Espirito Santos speaking about the possibility of Wolverhampton Wanderers edging out Arsenal at their home game. That should be later this afternoon. But before we get the thoughts of the guys, let's hear from you out there. We've talked a lot on the show already. The phone lines are open. 0817 00 951 and 0810 9510 951. I'll take it again. 0817 00 951 and 0810 9510 951. Do you think Leicester City will be able to make it to the UEFA Champions League? And of course, your predictions for the games ongoing, as well as other matters that we've discussed. Let's hear from the caller. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to today's Sports Live. Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm calling from Port Harcourt. This is Tunes.
Welcome. Let's hear from you.
Okay. About the Leicester making top 4, I don't think it's going to be possible, but I see them winning today's match.
You see them winning today's match versus Crystal Palace, but you don't think they'll make top 4?
They will not make the top 4, but I see them winning today's match.
Okay. Will that be all?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution. He says he sees Leicester City not making top 4, but of course they'll get all 3 points against Crystal Palace. Well, let's see how that match pans out. Let's hear from the caller. Welcome to the show today, Sports Live. Your name and where you're calling us from?
It's Chooks. Good afternoon, everybody in the house.
Chooks, welcome. Where are you calling us from?
From Lumokuta.
Welcome, Chooks. Let's hear from you.
Yeah. See, Leicester will not make top 4. One, early this season, see what they did. Man U play Chelsea. After Chelsea go back home to draw with Leicester. And this is the second time they are doing it again. Man U beating Bournemouth by the grace of God. Then Bournemouth going home to draw Leicester. Before then, Leicester draw before Chelsea, which means Leicester is going to draw today with Crystal Palace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I like your permutation. Thank you so much, Chooks, for your contribution. Sorry. We lost that call. Well, his permutation is he should be a professor, I tell you. But keep the calls coming through. We also talked about the VAR issue in that Sheffield United's home game versus Tottenham Hotspur. A lot of persons have been talking that the rules need to be adjusted. What do you make about all we've discussed? Back to the phone lines. Today's Sports Live. Welcome to the show.
Yes, I think you greetings from Orazi.
Obina from Orazi, welcome.
Yes, let me start from VAR, of course. You know that's definitely where I will start.
Of course.
I am not. You see, I was expecting you to play the presser of Jose Mourinho after that game, but unfortunately you did not play it. I did not hear you. At least he explained more. You know,
I did quote him.
He said?
I quoted him.
Okay, before now we were meant to understand that we never knew that things have so much changed in football, especially in 2020. We are still watching it with the old eye. Before now, we thought the man at the center with whistle is the referee, but Jose Mourinho has clearly told us that the referee are those sitting off, that the man at the center of the field is the assistant referee. So when you're talking about VAR, go check. It's not a team having 20 VAR decisions. You say they are the highest beneficiary of decisions. Go check out the one that came out after that Jose Mourinho match, Tottenham TV. The team that have match deciding decisions. Not I'm winning 5-0 and VAR awards me a penalty. You say I've been gaining, VAR has been favoring me. That is not how to rob match. If you don't know how white men go about their issue, they don't go about it. The critical time that VAR awards a match like it was always seen from a starting club, that is where we are shouting on VAR. Look at the same. Let me start from Manchester City match. Folding after Manchester City, when they have humiliated Liverpool after giving them guard of honor, bamboozled them. You saw the goal that Mahrez scored. Foden was on the ground. Ball scrubbed Foden. It did not aid or anything. And VAR reviewed it. Take it back to the match at Anfield against Lovren and Wijnaldum. The same hand. 3 seconds handball, I love the WhatsApp page that when things happen, we go to dig out videos. 3 seconds between Lovren and Alexander Arnold, there was no VAR review. Go back to the one that happened with Harry Kane. Lucas Moura was falling like Reliance rightly said. I watched that in over and over. In one angle, it's as if Lucas Moura pushed the ball when he was falling. In the other angle, it was as if the guy bruised the ball in Lucas Moura's hand. There are 3 angles to that thing. Just check that VAR decision. Then you go back to Tottenham and Liverpool. Henderson used hand, pushed out Sissoko, pushed ball that assisted the goal. VAR did not review. We are not regretting. VAR in England is not wrong. They don't when the Lions keep wasting his energy as if he want to contribute, they know what they did or what they are doing. It's not they are not making any mistake. It was when we shouted, they started talking about the P-side monitor. They are not making any mistake. Go and check the list of critical decisions that VAR has awarded this season. It's for a particular team. You will see that next season, England VAR will be the best. They came out with an agenda. It's like sounding like a broken record, but I give you instances. Go the one that day that will happen against Tottenham. They released the picture. Liverpool and Tottenham played 6 p.m. Sheffield United and West Ham played 2 p.m. Declan Rice equalized. I sent the picture that day to Doctors because immediately after that my picture surfaced. Declan Rice equalized with that same goal that Henderson used against Tottenham that was used for offside. Against Sheffield United, you can remember, a 9-minute goal. They ruled it for offside. They brought out the one that Henderson did against Tottenham that VAR did not even check.
All right.
We should not be doing this thing as if they are trying to call. We left from the onset. We told you that there is an agenda, and it has clearly been they are just doing all these things as cover up for Negona Social. You should allow Messi Greenwood to play. This is the same way they shouted about Januzaj. This is the same way they did with Obertan. This is the same way they did with Ramsey. This is the same way they did with Wisha. British high-skilled player. That is why I don't want Sancho in Manchester United.
All right.
I'm an elder statesman in this game. I know the way it works.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Obina from Orazi. Let's hear from the scholar. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Victor.
I'm very fine, thank you. This should be Albert.
Yeah, it's me.
Welcome.
There's something I have to chip in. Understand? I could say, and the referees in England, every side, when the VAR has not come to England, the official in England is very bad before, you understand? If you go back, if you try to preview some of the games when the VAR system is not being used in England, you can never see when they went to the World Cup, there's no England referee there. Don't you know there's something wrong with the system?
Okay.
Huh? They went to the World Cup without a referee, you understand? There's a game I watched in Premiership between Tottenham and Man United, you understand? Tottenham was leading 2-0 against Man United. McGrattenburg got a penalty from nowhere, you understand? And I give it to Man United. Then there was Ferguson was there, you understand?
Okay.
So if you want to talk about this one, you check when Man United stopped the unbeaten of Arsenal. You understand? Go and check the officiating. It has been there for ages. It didn't start today. It didn't start yesterday.
All right.
It's not because they brought an electronic device that this controversy is on. It has been there for a while. You understand? I've been watching this game. They are so corrupt in England. You understand? The league you fix matches to play. That's what people want to die for. You understand? It has been a controversial league for a while. You understand? I've been following this league. That's why there's nothing. I don't like the British people.
All right.
I don't like that attitude. They're so corrupt. You understand? So let us not begin to point what that may be in favor of Liverpool of this. That is the pattern of it. I could what both you wanted versus Portman. Both you wanted Portman in Premiership. There's a lot of drama, controversy in the league. You understand? I will watch Liverpool versus Everton 2014. 2013, 2014, Merseyside Derby after Everton Grand, Luis Suarez scored 2 goals. That had 4 minutes. You understand? When they played the third quarter of the game, the fourth quarter 65 seconds, Luis Suarez scored a beautiful goal. They overturned it. So after the game, Steven Gerrard and Luis Suarez confronted the referee. You understand?
All right.
Through this game for offside. He said the referee didn't see it very well. Gerrard now threw a question to the referee that at your level, why could you do this? You understand? When the game is being fixed for a draw, you must overturn it. Forget about that device difference.
Okay.
The device is a formality machine there for all of us.
Thank you.
Don't fool us. Don't fool us.
All right. So thank you so much, Albert, for your contribution. Let's hear from the scholar. Today's Post Live, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon to you, Simon from Remote Maya.
Thank you. For me, I want to continue with an aspect. When they come for officiating the Premiership, we have been seeing it for 8 years. In times I have started watching Premiership, know what is football. We have been seeing it. That's why if you go back to history, I don't think that any Manchester United fan will even open his or her mouth to condemn anybody, because if you want to tell me, since I started watching, I don't know about what happened before I started watching. If you don't want to tell me anything that has benefited so much in officiating Manchester United during the time of Alex Ferguson, and that's what we call or what we have the manual referee. You understand? Well, that is what I want to. So if you want to tell me about English refs, they are so controversial and the wicked sometimes. You don't say that they are favoring one team. Okay, that Tottenham match now. Are you telling me that the match will also favor Liverpool? The match now that Mourinho was complaining, will that one also favor Liverpool? This is just their, in fact, anything that just enter England, they will just bring all their wisdom. I mean, they know pass everybody. They do. If you watch other league now, anything happen, referee, the center ref will go and check, view the VAR by himself. But in England, you will just see no goal. This one, the referee will just be there. Ball will continue. Even in the World Cup, FIFA World Cup that the whole world played, when anything like that happens, referee will leave the pitch and go there and check. Well, England is different. And somebody will not put mouth and tell me the Liverpool. When team is good, just give them credit. The truth is that for this season, Liverpool, they are superb.
Okay.
Even if they lost 4-0 the other day, I call it even 5-0. Even if they lost 5-0, to my own opinion, but they are superb. So if you see anybody that is doing well, that's why as you see me, I'm a fan of football before any club side. I'm a Nimba fan, but I'm a fan of football first. I will talk defend football first before even my club. That is how I watch my own football.
All right.
So when you want to say something, you say it clearly. The way it will, I mean, nobody will even start attacking you or maybe attacking another person. That's what I want to say for now.
Thank you so much, Simon from Rumudumaya, for your contribution. Let's hear from another caller. Good afternoon, Today Sports Live. Welcome to the show.
Oh, good afternoon, Wisdom and the guys in the studio.
Well, this is Victor Oriahi.
Oh, Victor Oriahi, sorry. I'm calling from Aba.
Welcome.
Manchester United will end the season in third position. Chelsea will be in the fourth, while Leicester will end up fifth.
Okay.
And
did you see that in a dream?
Yes.
You saw it in a dream?
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for your contribution.
Yeah, not
Today
nice.
Sports Live, welcome.
Victor, you're not nice.
Hello. Hello. Oh, silent caller. You can keep the calls coming through. Let's get to hear from you this afternoon. We've talked a lot on the show, of course. The phone line is still very much open. 0817 0000 951 and 0810 9510 951. Back to the phone lines. Good afternoon, Today Sports Live. Oh, sorry, we seem to have lost connection with that particular caller. But you can also send your text messages to 0701 933 9962, and we'll be leaving them real time on the show. Welcome to the show. Good afternoon, Today Sports Live.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. What's your name and where you're calling us from?
I'm Anthony from Abluma.
Welcome, Anthony. Let's hear from you.
Yes, why I called, I didn't try to call, but because of the way you people give time. If you are giving 5 minutes to everybody, not open hours, you will talk. You give him the whole time.
Unfortunately, sir, can I speak? Can I speak? Well, it's the weekend edition of the show, so we give time to every single caller. So immediately you make your contribution. If you make your contribution, then the call would be ended. As long as we give you enough time to make your contribution. So if you make your contribution in 1 minute, of course, we end the call. If you make a contribution in 5 minutes. So there's no one we've cut off so far. As long as if you don't make your contribution, you drop the call. Okay?
That's okay. That's
all right.
You go ahead with any way you like it.
Thank you so much for your contribution. Welcome to the show, Today Sports Live.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Let's hear from you.
My name is Sabusi, calling from Amuma.
Welcome.
I just want to...
Oh, sorry. We seem to have a problem with the connection right there. Let's go to this caller. Today Sports Live. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Yes, my name is Chukwe Buka.
Chukwe Buka, welcome.
Yes, I'm calling from... You see, truth is that most times I understand the need to banter. I understand the need to present your club every now and then. But truth is that most times, topic sort of just corner it one.
Chukwe Buka, could you speak up? We can barely hear you.
Okay, I said I understand the need for some people to banter. I understand. Football is all about the banter and all this, right? I understand that part.
Yeah.
But most times, a topic is brought up. It's a very useful topic. A topic that will be useful to people, at least to learn and to, what have you. And you just corner it one side. What I'm saying is, every time we talk about the VAR, everybody is talking. most people will channel it to Liverpool. It favors Liverpool. I don't have a problem. It's just a personal
I
opinion.
tell
I
you.
don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with that. But okay, let's put it in perspective. Liverpool have won the league, and the problem of VAR still persists. So how do we fine tune that? Now how do we doctor that? For me, I think the problem I've always said. I'm a Liverpool fan. I've always said that the VAR nonsense. I don't like the VAR. At least even if I like the VAR, not the one in England, I don't like the VAR. But people keep saying that's the problem with even. I would say Nigeria. That's the problem with most Nigerians. You will see the problem. You don't want to talk about the problem, so we make headway. You are chasing shadows, talking about necessary things. Liverpool is for the VAR. VAR is for Liverpool. That's why I just thank God that what we are saying here, the English people are not even hearing it. So let's just focus on what the problem is. Make analysis, talk about pros and cons, talk about the way to move on. Not every time Liverpool. Now, what in Liverpool hold you? I don't understand. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Chukwuebuka, for your contribution. Let's hear from today's live.
Good afternoon. My name is Chico, calling from Port Harcourt.
Welcome.
Whether VAR or no VAR, Liverpool have won the league. I want to tell the man from Orazobina. You should start talking
my brother, talk your own. Leave Obina, talk your own.
Manchester United. When Manchester United, you ain't talking about Manchester United, leave Liverpool alone. We have won our league. So let's leave Liverpool alone. Thank you.
That's okay. Well, that's his contribution on the show. Welcome to the show, Today Sports Live.
Victor, today is marathon. I don't know why everybody wants to leave what they are supposed to say and they want to make me the topic of any subject. I don't know why. Why am I the only one that calls on your show? What said everybody will leave their contribution. Look at Simon using the word open your mouth. If I use that kind of word on air, I believe you will cut me. Make your contribution and go. What is this Obina? I make my own contribution.
Obina, just give your contribution.
Rumibo that is talking about banter. I don't banter. If you're talking about VAR, go to England and see what VAR is causing. Is not even half of what is happening here. So when you want to coin the word to banter, as if you know what you're saying, you don't know anything.
All right.
Go to England and see what VAR is. I watched Tottenham television yesterday. I saw what happened there. Charlie Austin almost beat up a man in pressure. Reliance, are you not aware? Charlie Austin of Southampton. Because of what? So many things, so many ways, so many words that have not been used before in football has been used in this very season.
Okay.
And nobody has not. Mourinho said he's not going to talk because he wants to sit at the Tottenham bench in the next match. These people don't listen to pressure. When you watch match on the roadside, you will not stay at home, watch match. So
thank you so much, Obina from Orazi, for your contribution. Let's hear from the scholar. Today's Sports Live, you know where you're calling us from.
Sorry, Simon Robert. Please, I am very, very, very sorry. My friend Obina, if I use any word that they don't like, maybe just I just called to apologize.
Thank you so much, Simon.
Apologize to everybody that I offended.
All right. Thank you so much, Simon.
You play not small. I didn't feel you. If you be myself, you play well. By many, I say you to your knees. PSG, you should roll my ball. I lay on.
Of course, it's still the marathon edition of Today's Sports Live, and we are talking everything European football. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer currently having his pre-match interview right here on our screen, but then we'll still be hearing from the callers 0817 00 951 and 0810 951 951. Keep it civilized and strictly to what we are talking about. Let's hear from the scholar.
Hello,
your name and where you're calling us from?
Good afternoon. I told you with no photocopy from Rumibo.
No photocopy, welcome.
I greet everyone. Happy weekend out there.
They greet you too.
I think the question I want to ask, because there are a lot of things I don't know. You people as a journalist,
okay,
you people know and hear more than what I know and what I've heard. Is it any match that after the match, the people that played that match that believe that VAR did them wrong, is it any match that those people take their case to maybe the FA or to maybe a match commissioner or something, and they won that case at the end?
Hello, no photocopy.
I said, is it any case that people reported these VR managers, those that manage this VR?
None that I am aware of.
Is it any case like that before, and they want those people?
No.
So if that has not been done, which means what they are saying is insinuation. Now VR is doing well, because if VR is doing wrong, people will sanction them and they will either sack them or suspend. Have it in many places. They suspend referees. They suspend somebody for maybe causing somebody to lose a game.
They've criticized. They have criticized. I mean, we also saw Hawkeye. Now, this is goal line technology, even coming out to publicly issue an apology because they made a wrong decision. That was just after the restart in a game involving Sheffield United. So it happens sometimes.
Okay, so now who is to be blamed if somebody come out like that and say, as a result of my mistake?
That's the... Oh, sorry, we lost that call. I don't know what happened, but I think that's just as a result. There's really nobody to blame, but the main thing is going forward. That is what we want to focus on going forward. I mean, we can talk about all those games, but then the results have already been registered. Going forward, what would happen? What would be the change? We wait to see. Let's hear from the scholar before we move to the Spanish La Liga. You remember where you're calling us from?
Yeah, Victor, I called back just for some minutes, Albert.
Welcome back, Albert.
Okay, did you see that if you view the German Bundesliga, you see the referees in Bundesliga, they are very competent referees there in Bundesliga. A lot of them are medical doctors, pharmacy, and what have you. Understand? When they officiate the game, you know this is professional referees. Not those things they do in England here, they are so corrupt. The only thing that I bet is apart from the English, nothing about them that is good.
Okay. That was before it would be tagged as hate speech. Thank you so much, Albert, for your contribution. Well, we'll be moving shortly to the Spanish La Liga as one game was played yesterday, and that is Atletico Madrid against Mallorca. It ended 3-0 in favor of Atletico Madrid. The game was played at the Wanda Metropolitano, and Alvaro Morata got a brace with Koke getting the third goal. Let's hear from the scholar. Today's Sports Live, you know where we're calling us from?
Yeah, hello. Yeah, it's Moses from Botango.
Moses, welcome.
Yeah.
Could you turn down the volume of your radio?
Because without the on
Moses, could you turn down the volume? Oh, sorry, we can barely hear you. We're having a hold back. Would love you to please turn down the volume of your radio set before you call into the show. Well, there's been quite a number of talks, or a lot of talks, about the Catalan side talking about Barcelona. As according to the Spanish radio station Cadena SER, the Barcelona captain has broken off contract talks after finally running out of patience with the club because of the constant rumors and allegations that he is one of the prime reasons for unrest around the new camp. Messi is disillusioned with any number of things emanating from his life at Barcelona at the moment. He's fed up of being accused of running the club, fed up of people saying he hires and fires the coach, fed up of claims he chooses who should be signed and who should play, and fed up with the general direction of the club and the huge mistakes they have made in the transfer market. And according to that radio station in their program El Aguero, he said enough is enough, as he has finally told the club he will be leaving at the end of next season. Well, Lionel Messi has not come out to debunk or ascertain this rumor. But Priya, let me start with you. If this is true, what do you think is the reason behind this claim?
First off, I think personally he feels like the burden of Barcelona is on him. And I think that's a big problem. But first off, the body language of Lionel Messi over the years has been that he's running the club. Let's look at the way he addresses his other players. He's a quiet a character, no doubt about that. But if you see the way he reacts to some situations that happens in the pitch and off pitch, you understand that he actually has power in that club, even though he tends to maybe disagree with that statement. I feel he has a whole lot of power and they respect him a lot in the club. You can't take that away from Lionel Messi. He has power in that club. Then over the years as he has been captain, I've said this, Lionel Messi is not a great leader. He's not a great leader. Why would I say this? Like, we have seen rumors and information that have been out there in the media where you have players, they are now having camps in Barcelona over the years. From the time of Ibrahimovic when he was in, he started off with this, he came up with this expose some years back when he was in Barcelona. He said like, manager will favor some players, Lionel Messi and some couple of players are very close to the manager and other players are in the other camp, then we saw this continue. Like some players who compliment the league Barcelona, like they are not favored. Lionel Messi is more favored in the club, more respected than themselves, and they feel they need equal respect. To a point, it came down to even Vidal. Vidal complained that there is no, how would I put it, unifying factor in the club. And I think Lionel Messi, as a leader, needs to unite the team as one bunch, and he's not doing that. That's why these accusations are actually pouring in right now, as they're not doing very well, because people feel like some of those players in that club are close friends to Lionel Messi before to the club. Some of them, relatively, are friends to Lionel Messi. Like, we feel like you are the one that actually instigated their transfers to the club. Now we see some weeks back the issue he had with Griezmann. He came to the media like he wasn't even giving Griezmann passes in the game. He had that issues, and these things are not example of a great captain. We have seen captains over the years, even in Barcelona, the likes of Puyol and the rest. They united the team. Xavi, they united the team. I think Lionel Messi should be that uniting factor. He should unite everybody together, the warring faction. There should not be a faction in the club. I feel if Barcelona want to move forward, even though he's still in the club, I think he's not too capable to be the captain of Barcelona. He's their greatest player, no doubt about that. But leading the team, they need a unifying factor, someone that can actually unify everybody together. And I think he's not that person.
Well, according to Barcelona's coach Quique Setién, he says he has refused to be drawn into a debate around Lionel Messi's future following reports he will leave Barcelona next year, though the coach was adamant he has not heard the player himself say he wants to move. Barca were held to a 2-0 draw by Atletico Madrid on Tuesday, and Real Madrid's subsequent win over Getafe on Thursday allowed Los Blancos to go 4 points clear at the top of La Liga. It was the third match in 4 that Barca have failed to win, and reports began to circulate on Thursday that Messi has decided to leave in 2021 when his contract expires. While some have put that down as a ploy to oust unpopular club president Josep Maria Bartomeu, others are concerned about such an idea taking root and becoming reality, with Messi reported to like the idea of once again linking up with Manchester City boss Pep Guardiola. Rumors of in-house squabbling and the poor relationship between the players and coaching staff have also developed in recent weeks, but Quique Setién insists he has heard nothing from Messi about his supposed plan to leave. Speaking just few minutes back ahead of that match against Villarreal, he says, "I am not going to speculate on this because I have not heard him say anything about it and it is not my job. I repeat, he looks well to me. Leo, the rest is speculation rather. That does not even enter my consideration. That is what you media are for. I see him training well and nothing more." Well, Quique Setién also spoke about Ricky Puig, who is a Barca player whom there's been a lot of positivity. The 20-year-old midfielder producing some effective displays since the resumption and has not been lost on Saint-Etienne. He says we have all seen his level, talking about Ricky Puig. He said Ricky has taken a very important step and has gained continuity in these games, but I tell him not to rest on what he's doing, but to improve. He's aware of the opportunity that has been given to him, and this is the way, then the rest we'll see. Well, Barca returns to action tomorrow at in-form Villarreal, who have won 5 and lost none of their last 6 matches since La Liga resumed this month. Nathaniel, how likely is this to happen with Lionel Messi leaving Barcelona at the end of his contract 2021?
I just pray that this rumor is true. I just pray that it should be true. Yeah, because I expected Messi to have done this some time ago, because he has done it all for the past couple of years now. Messi has been the pillar of that club.
Decade.
Yeah. So he has given all for the club. So if I were him, this is the right time for him to bow out. Just take a bow, go sort somewhere else, look for some other club that he can continue his football. For Barcelona, I beg, those people, they're becoming something else on that. He has his own problem on his own part. Nobody's fully 100% okay, but he has done it all. Every time Messi this, Messi that, Messi this, the fans not gonna let Messi rest. Yeah, make it come out, make it go find your enter, Jerry. I beg.
Also, do you agree with Nathaniel on this?
No, definitely no. Messi has grown a character in Barcelona. I don't think this is the right time, most especially with the circumstances surrounding his leaving. I don't think he should leave on this note. He has grown to become a great in Catalonia. He has grown to become a great in the history of the club. And he should find a way to sort these things out. While researching on this, what he actually said was he may be considering this as a result of lack of trophies and successes over a few period of time back then. What I think he should do, definitely every club has rancors right in their dressing room. I feel if the club knows what to do, they should even call in other greats, maybe retired, to come in, see what to do to calm issues down. It's not, they shouldn't just let it go this way, having Messi leave.
A great that retired, Eric Abidal, was one of the major one of the big issues right now.
That's a one-sided. That's a one-sided. Okay, fine. It happens. Directors of football sometimes have issues with players. It happens. You understand me? But I think it shouldn't always come out to the ears of the media. These things should be settled right in. Leaving Barcelona now, I don't see Messi doing too well going out. He has been too used to a particular pattern of football. And
I doubt it. Messi
that's a different argument entirely, though. Victor, there's a lot going on in Barcelona.
True.
From the board, from trust of the board and the president of the club, to the field of play, to the players, to Lionel Messi himself. If I'm to put it point blank, I think it's time Barcelona leave past the era of Lionel Messi. Because, at some point, it seems the man is holding the club to ransom. How? Because a lot of responsibility, the weight has been much on the man. I understand what happens when the weight is too much on you. You try to shoulder the responsibility of the club. Every particular coach that comes into that club builds the team around Lionel Messi. That's no problem. But now let's go back to the board. Look at the kind of signings they've made.
Yes, just to add to that, you will continue. But I want to ask a second fold question. Do you think it has anything to do with the promises Barca's president, Josep Maria Bartomeu, has made and failed to keep? Like, now, I'm going to quote him. He once said, "We'll try to get Neymar back." He then announced, "We'll sack Ernesto Valverde in order to bring in Xavi." But eventually, both the club and Xavi, they couldn't work together. Do you think it has anything to do with these promises that the president has been making and failing? Reliance?
Well, I think it's a team kind of setting. Now, the president has made promises and couldn't bring it to the fore. That's the incompetence of the board. Who's heading the board? Joseph
Maria Bartomeu.
He's the president of Barcelona, leading the board. At some point, Lionel Messi attacked Eric Abidal. Recall that there was some squabbles between Lionel Messi and Eric Abidal, and Messi came to the press.
Yeah, publicly,
and criticized the sporting director of the team. There was a lot of argument. There were lots of arguments about that. Some school of thought were that as a player, who gives you that right? The sporting director is head and shoulder above you as a player. The sporting director decides
not in Messi's case.
Who is the manager of the club. It gets to a point where Lionel Messi himself accused Eric Abidal of incompetence because he said, Xavi Hernandez was supposed to come in as a coach. But unfortunately, that he didn't know if they've done enough. Like, if the sporting director, he told Eric Abidal to take responsibility to his decisions and also, own up to his responsibility as the sporting director of the team, being Barcelona. Now, in that case, the subject matter was the signing of the coach after Valverde sacked. Then suddenly we also Kike Setien coming in, whereas the talks, the hypes, and everything was building around the certain Xavi Hernandez. And Lionel Messi accused Eric Abidal of probably not doing enough to get Xavi Hernandez. Lionel Messi also accused Eric Abidal of probably not doing enough to bring back Neymar as the sporting director of the club. So you see the extent that Lionel Messi is going. I don't have a problem with you charging up your players on the field of play. You are the captain of the club. I don't have a problem with you making comments in the press, or on the press rather, about the club, the performance of the team or the players, because you are the captain. Each time there is a post-match press conference, who do we always have there? The manager and the captain. And then we throw questions. So the captain of the club. But once it leaves what happens on the pitch of play, or maybe a bit above the dressing room to the management of the club, then I think at that point something is not right. Now, for the player to have that, that I don't know, should I say, should have to have that guts, so to speak, to get to that point, and something is not right. There's something that the management of the club are not doing right, and the player himself is also overstepping his boundary. So the point I'm trying to make in all these discussions is that something is definitely wrong from the management of Barcelona down to the football field. Look at the players they are getting. I don't even want to make reference to the recent swap between Arthur Melo and Pjanic, which is very laughable. But look at the finance involved. You could understand, because right now Barcelona are not financially buoyant. They talks about Lautaro Martinez. There were about 7 players that were supposed to be let off the club before they could secure the services of Lautaro Martinez into the club, owing on the fee that was slammed on the man by Inter Milan. So the money is not there. There was a point that Barcelona were trying to sign a striker before they eventually got Antoine Griezmann. They had to let 2 players go. I'm trying to record the name of those 2 players. Once I get them, I will say them out. They had to let 2 players go to eventually sign a striker, but the deal as that transfer did not materialize to them getting a striker. But eventually, it was later that they finally got Antoine Griezmann. And Messi also criticized that. So the problem comes from it trickles down from the management down to the field of play. They are not getting it right. But to be more focused at this point, Barcelona need to leave behind a Lionel Messi era. If the man decides to leave next season, that shouldn't be a big thing. Barcelona is a team that have always been known for having that key man. Even before Messi came into the club, they've always had that key man. Ronaldinho was once a player of Barcelona. It was more like, the poster boy of the team. Now Neymar was brought in to fill it, not necessarily filling the boots of Lionel Messi, but at least to take over, that key role if Lionel Messi eventually, hangs boots or something or leaves the club. But unfortunately, they couldn't manage the situation very well, the contract very well surrounding a Neymar, who himself also wanted out of the club because he wanted to be on his own shadows, not being on the shadow of Lionel Messi and all the talks. So the situation was not properly managed, and the man left. And they went shopping for some players. Look at the nature of players that Barca has been buying. At some point, I asked myself, Barca signed Vidal. The Barcelona will not go for Vidal. There were talks of signing Pogba, and we argued about it. We were like, what do you need Pogba for in a Barcelona team? Where does he fit in a Barcelona team? So you look at the players Barcelona have been signing, of late. That tells you that there's also a problem in the board. The unity, the disunity comes right from the board into the dressing room to the field of play.
Okay.
But just to wrap up, Victor, if Messi decides to leave, let him leave, so that Barcelona can now redefine the team and try to play as a team. If they want to get another poster boy into the team, fine and good. But the weight of Messi has been much.
Okay, Priya.
I think the politics in Barcelona have been there over the years. Like, it's a political club, like, it's owned by the state. So it's actually political. Catalan, you can't take away the politics of Barcelona system. And that said, at every given time when they have the poster boy in Barcelona, they also have a captain, a leader. You can go back in the time of Puyol. They had Ronaldinho. They had Puyol, the captain of the team. I think Lionel Messi is not acting as a captain. There's difference between when you're having a problem, you tell the players, let's leave that aside. Let's leave the administrative issues. Let's calm down. We have players. We are being paid every week. They are not old. They are being paid every week. We are being paid to play and grind out results. Let's go into the pitch and let's play. Yes, fine and good. They have been having terrible signings, which I think if they are not financially settled, I don't see any reason why they should slam the amount of money they bought Coutinho for. I think it wasn't necessary at that particular point in time. Same with
Griezmann.
Not Griezmann. Dembele, Ousmane Dembele. They spent a lot of money in buying players that were not fitting. They cannot actually fit into the Barcelona style of play. And I think one big problem they had was the scouting issue. I think the sporting director is not doing enough. Eric Abidal, the one before Eric Abidal, they are not doing enough in sorting out these players from different leagues. And I think they should have followed the spec of Pep Guardiola. Like when I look at a typical Manchester City team, I see some players there that I feel can fit in perfectly in that Barcelona team. The likes of, like I said, this guy is supposed to be a Barcelona player next season. Before I know it, boom, Manchester City and Pep Guardiola came for his signature. That is the kind of player you know Barcelona for. I think Lionel Messi, when it comes to the field of play, as a player, that's his department. I think he should be the captain. If he feels that the responsibility of being a captain and also the playmaker of the team is heavy on him, he should actually just peacefully give the captaincy to Piqué. I think Piqué is more of a leader than Lionel Messi.
Okay, we're still talking about Barcelona. Kike Setien says Antoine Griezmann understands why he is not in the Barcelona first 11, but insists the France forward has a lot to offer. Griezmann, a 120 million euro signing from Atletico Madrid prior to the start of the season, has struggled to find consistent form alongside Lionel Messi in the Barca attack. And according to Griezmann, he accepts responsibility. According to Setien, rather, he accepts responsibility for Griezmann's frustration and not being more involved, but has no problems with the player's present attitude. Quoting him, he says he is good. I exchanged some words with him. Antoine Griezmann is a professional. He's a player that understands the situation. He's an extraordinary guy who is tremendously professional. It's not going to affect him when he plays again. He's very positive and we can count on him 100% when he's back out on the pitch. I have spoken about hierarchies, but I don't think I have ever spoken about untouchables. Griezmann is a great player who is very important for the club and for the team. When he's played, you asked me about Ansu Fati. When Ansu plays, it's the reverse. Not all players can play. I would love to give them all the minutes, but I have to ask what each player can add to the team at certain moments. I always weigh up my decisions. I don't make them on a whim. I have the hierarchy and the importance of certain players in mind. But at a team like Barca, where there are so many great players, not everyone can play. It happens at all teams, and it's normal players are angry because they always want to play. There are decisions that I must take responsibility for. Osas.
Yeah.
This is Kike Setien saying the reasons why Antoine Griezmann is not in the Barcelona starting 11. Do you think, how did it happen? How did the fall of Griezmann happen? Griezmann that was the poster boy for Atletico Madrid. I mean, doing so well for themselves, a World Cup winner. And all of a sudden, he's being benched by Ansu Fati.
I owe that to the Barcelona philosophy. A lot of these things have also been going on lots of times behind. I believe some players have a strong grip on the team. Definitely, I know that Messi is part of it, but I still remain with what I said. They should find a way to solve this and not let him go with bad blood. I don't know if you get what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yes. It's setting into a time where he has to move on, but he should move on properly so that these younger ones can come in. I believe Griezmann not playing has something to do with Messi's how would I put it? Coming in. Yes, Messi's impact. Messi was not too happy with him coming in and dropping that Neymar's return. So I believe that has.
So how do we know this?
Body language.
Did Messi tell someone here?
No. Definitely. It's written in the sky.
Yeah, the thing is, Messi was so up in doing about the Neymar return.
Yes.
He was so up in. He wanted it to happen, but unfortunately, it couldn't happen. Now, let's not make any mistake about it. There are some players who influence fellow players to come into a particular team.
Yeah.
I may not confirm officially, but there are reports that Paul Pogba influenced Lukaku's decision to choose Manchester United over Chelsea. And also the agent of Paul Pogba being the same agent of Lukaku. So it do happen at times. Messi was all up and doing, requesting for that move for Neymar to come. So you could if there is a fear right now that he sort of wasn't happy about Antoine Griezmann, then coming in the place of having a Neymar, then you could easily understand.
Yes, and Wisdom, I think we should also look
Victor.
Victor. I think we should also look.
You look like Wisdom.
I know, right?
I think we should also look clearly to this. You could see that when Neymar was about to leave, Messi was I think, at the forefront of keeping Neymar back in Barcelona. We can agree to that. He had to come out, talk to the young man. Okay, don't worry. At a particular time, we even heard that he said, don't worry, if you need the Champions League, I'll give it to you. If you need the highest goal scorer for the Spanish La Liga, I'll give it to you. He did his own bit to see that Neymar stays back. Now, coming to see a sporting director who allowed that deal go through instead of holding back the team and keeping your brightest prospect, definitely Messi will not be happy with it.
So Griezmann cannot walk in that Barcelona.
So Griezmann is suffering.
Griezmann cannot walk in that team.
Yes, he's suffering from all of this.
It's not about Lionel Messi affecting Griezmann. I think that's not the issue. Griezmann cannot fit in that Barcelona philosophy. Now they want him to play from the flank. He cannot be the centre forward because Suarez will definitely be the forward striker. Now, Griezmann playing from the flag is not functional. Like if you watch him play as a typical striker for Atletico Madrid, he either play behind the striker, behind Morata or Diego Costa, behind the striker, or sometimes as the false nine. That's when he functions very well.
From the flanks, remember?
Once in a while, but
not once in a while.
Okay, the World Cup. Okay, talking about the World Cup.
Yes, yeah,
the World Cup.
Giroud was always there as centre forward.
Now, Giroud, he was playing behind Giroud.
He came in from the flanks now.
He was playing behind Giroud because they had Kylian Mbappe in that team. They had Griezmann. They had Olivier Giroud. They had what's his name? The man from Juventus.
Blaise Matuidi.
Matuidi was playing from the flank.
No, Matuidi was playing.
He was playing for the flank. Go check the France formation. It's clear. He was playing for the flanks, but he comes in deep to assist them in the middle of the park. Then he goes to the flank. That's the formation of France. You can go through that formation again. It was a very technical formation. The way they did Ramirez in that Chelsea winning Champions League team. You operate from the flank, but you come in deep to the midfield and win the balls for them. That's what he was doing there. So I feel Griezmann, as a flank player, he doesn't have the footwork to play for Barcelona. He plays under a counter-attacking team, plays better in the counter-attacking team than playing in an attacking-minded team. And I think Barcelona is attacking-minded. Most teams they play against will always sit at the back. So they need someone that will open the defense. And it's not that creative.
So Nathaniel, you think it's
I think it's not. It's a very bad deal.
You think it was a bad deal for Griezmann moving to Barca?
Right from day one, I did not even put a pen on paper to say Griezmann should go to Barcelona because he's not that kind of Barcelona kind of player. He's not. Griezmann cannot dribble past defender one-on-one. He don't have that skills. Barcelona players.
Victor, and also you could see the whole scenario surrounding Griezmann coming to Barcelona. Messi was not happy with him, owing to the fact that you're even coming to replace somebody who was a part of the MSN as at then. Messi, Neymar, Suarez.
Okay.
A trio that ruled the world, a trio that brought mayhem on defense and defenders. Yeah. Yes. So he was not just satisfied. You understand me? So these are some of the things that should have been settled. It should have been settled right from then. Now we shouldn't allow this thing develop or degenerate into having your best player leave your club, because definitely if Messi is going to leave Barcelona now, a lot of talks are going to come on after he has left, and it will not be good for the image of the club.
Victor, for Griezmann, I think why he has to debutize from the flank is that the players that were brought in to play from the flanks are not that we signed to play from those angle. They didn't live up to his expectation. You mentioned what's his name? Dembele. What was Malcolm signed for?
He has left. He
left, but like what position was he signed to
from
play?
The flank, no, from the right side.
It's an attacking forward from the flanks, isn't it? He didn't cut it. Dembele didn't cut it, and this is an Antoine Griezmann that has some stint of playing from the flanks at times. So they had to push him there. And again, Antoine Griezmann was brought in to be a stand-in.
100 million to bring in a striker as a stand-in replacement. What happened to Martin Braithwaite?
Braithwaite from where?
The one from Leganés. From Leganés.
Luis Suarez was sort of winding down as at the time. The inconsistency of Luis Suarez was clear for football lovers or even the Barcelona team to see. So the reason why Luis Suarez was Antoine Griezmann was signed was to get another striker and then maybe Luis Suarez will start coming into the bench and all the like. But it got to a point where, Luis Suarez was, I don't know, some sort of a situation where the signing of Antonio Griezmann got to motivate the man was delivering the goals, and they couldn't just bench the man. They had to allow the man play. And again, since the flank players that were signed for the Barcelona team were not up to expectation, Suarez had to, I beg your pardon, Antonio Griezmann had to be pushed to those flanks. So at this point, there's a Luis Suarez that is still delivering at least some goals for the team. And at the flank, we don't have players that are cutting in for Barcelona. They have to push Griezmann to the flank. If for any reason now they have a player, okay, let's say for instance now, Neymar deal went through and Neymar returned to Barcelona. You push Neymar back to the flank, and then you have Antonio Griezmann starting at the central forward. That's if you decide to go with Griezmann, or if you decide
and
to
it's
go
a goal for
with,
Bournemouth. Bournemouth has taken the lead right there at Old Trafford. I mean, in just the 11th minute of action, it's been
he needs to drink water.
It's been
but they don't have it that
16 minutes gone already in that particular game. I'm trying to get confirmation of the goal scorer. A beautiful goal. I tell you, just made his way through the defense after a cross, and then the ball fell off to him. Initially deflected and just beat Harry Maguire easily and slotted it into.
Whoa! Who was that done to?
I think that was
Maguire. That can't be Maguire. No, my goodness. No, you can't do this to him.
You see, they did that to Maguire. I mean,
I think it stands.
Whoa.
You see why
that was beautiful.
So why Kenny has been criticizing this player?
Is that not the most expensive English defender?
Yes. And the captain of the squad.
And the captain of am I making any mistake?
No,
anyway.
It's not. Well, let's not. I mean, it happens to all players. It was just a.
After it happened to Junior
but not this time of the season. Come on. For top four, no, not this time of the season.
So Junior Stanislas gets the goal for AFC Bournemouth, putting them ahead in the 16th minute. So it's currently 1-0 in favor of Bournemouth right there at Old Trafford. Meanwhile, in the King Power Stadium, there was an attempt for Leicester City, but it just struck the woodwork. I mean, talking about this game, it's been action all through. Bruno Fernandes missed a one-on-one chance, tried to lob the goalkeeper, but instead he lobbed the post. I mean, over the post, the ball went. Let's see how it eventually pans out. Reliance, you were saying something?
Just to drop the baton, more like. Now, if for any reason there's an active player coming in from the flank that is cutting up as expected, Griezmann will be pushed back to the central forward position. And that's why I think Griezmann is struggling, because he's not a natural winger, you could say. He's a natural striker, like center forward, So at the moment he's debuting from the flank because there's no player cutting it for the team. But if they eventually get a Neymar, for instance, and he's pushed back to that central forward position, you start seeing Antonio Griezmann for that club. So I don't think it was a wrong buy. Now, the two players' names I was trying to recall before now, the ones I said that they had to let them go in order for them to get a player to get a striker before they eventually sign Antonio Griezmann, that we are still talking about, Okay, I need to get that. All right, Carlos Perez and Abel Rui. That season, those two players, they were strikers. I think they are still strikers because they've not retired from football.
Perez, I think he was just on loan. It was just recently that they signed him, that they sold Carlos Perez.
Really?
Yeah.
Carlos Perez and Abel Rui. So
it was this month or last month that Carlos Perez had that permanent switch. I'm trying to get the club. Sure? I'm pretty sure about that.
Anyway,
one.
so those two
yes,
players,
he moved from Barca to AS Roma this season.
Okay. So they had to let them go, and then looking to make a way for a striker that eventually didn't come. And also remember that within that time, Ousmane Dembele was out injured. Luis Suarez was also struggling with injury within that period. So later they eventually signed Antonio Griezmann, which we are still arguing about now. So bottom line is the problem of Barca at this point is coming in is from the management to the team. If the management are able to sort themselves out, then they will be able to sort out the team as well.
Well, leaving Barcelona, let's go talk about the Los Blancos or the La Liga in general. I mean, it's been head-to-head action right there. Real Madrid versus Barcelona. It's not an El Clasico, but this is really classic. Trying to see who eventually wins the title. Right now, Real Madrid are 4 points clear at the top of the table. Barca would face Villarreal later this. That should be tomorrow. They would face Villarreal, and we'll see how that one ends up. But eventually, at the end of the season, who do you think would be lifting the Spanish La Liga title, and why?
It's so glaring. Is Real Madrid. This is important when you grind results, even when you're not playing very well. That's the stuff of champions. I think they're actually grinding results. Some areas you feel they are supposed to drop points. A typical example is your game against Espanyol. That's a very difficult ground for a regular Real Madrid and Barcelona team. But they went there and they grind out results. And I think that's what they are doing that Barcelona is not doing right now.
Bottom of the table, Espanyol.
Grinding the results. Grinding the results. It's quite important. Those, you imagine, you're talking about bottom of the log, Espanyol. Look at how Espanyol defeated... I can't actually remember that season. They were struggling at a particular point in the season and they defeated Real Madrid. It happens. It's football. You can't take that away from those relegation teams. They can come and they can actually cause troubles to the championship hunting teams. So I feel for this season, Real Madrid and Barcelona going head to head. Madrid are grinding the results and Barcelona is not doing that. That's why they will definitely emerge as champion, because for you to win the league is a marathon. You have to be consistent. Even though when you're not good on that day, just find a way of grinding out your 3 points. And that is what Real Madrid is doing right now. So I think Real Madrid will definitely be the champions of the Spanish La Liga for this season.
Manchester United and trying to get a goal back with Mason Greenwood creating an attempt right there, even after they had a free kick initially, and it was beautifully saved by the goalkeeper of Bournemouth. Well, let's see how that one ends. But in the Spanish La Liga tonight, by 4 p.m. rather, Celta Vigo will be up against Real Betis, and by 6:30 p.m. it will be Real Valladolid versus Deportivo Alaves, and by 9 o'clock Granada will be up against Valencia. While tomorrow, quite a number of exciting games tomorrow, starting with the first game of the day by 1 p.m. Athletic Bilbao will take on Real Madrid. Real Madrid hopefully will be able to make it 7 points clear at the top of the table if they win that match. And then by 4 p.m. RCD Espanyol will be up against Leganes. By 6:30 it will be Osasuna versus Getafe, and the Yellow Submarines of Villarreal will tackle Barcelona by 8 p.m. tomorrow. I've got to get your thoughts on this one, Nathaniel. Who wins that match? Villarreal versus Barcelona. Villarreal have been in fine form since the restart. I mean, they defeated Real Betis, they defeated Valencia, they drew 2-2 with Sevilla. It's been quite impressive for Villarreal. Do you think they'll be able to get something, a point, or maybe 3 points when they face Barca tomorrow?
For me, I see Barca winning that game throughout, because Barca would like to come back to winning ways and fight back, in as much as Real Madrid are leading on that table log out there. But so I think Barcelona will surely win that match.
By what scoreline?
2-0.
2-0. Yeah. Barca against
Lionel Messi on the score sheet.
Okay, well,
if the Messi not score, who will score him?
Suarez will score, he will assist.
Yeah.
Well, let's get back to the phone lines to hear from you. We talked about the Spanish La Liga before we talk transfers, but meanwhile we have some messages. Reliance will be taking us through the messages we have.
Young from Unagua says, good afternoon, sports crew. Please kindly call the numbers to call into your show and WhatsApp lines as well. Tony from Lagos says, good day, sport guy. Like, seriously, the England VAR is not helping matters. I'm reading it the way he wrote it. Like, seriously, the England VAR is not helping matters. So, for Christ's sake, let it not be used in England, because pool diggers will always use it as a disadvantage. Thanks, Tony. From anytime a Manchester United player falls inside the box, it's a penalty. 11 penalty this season, the highest, by the way. He goes on to say, talking about Mahrez's goal, please let us go back to Manchester versus Everton, where Dominic Lewin was ruled out because Sigurdsson, who was laying down, was adjudged to have blocked the gear's view. This one says, powerful sports gang, I hail you, we hail you too.
The first 11 in sports analysis is your team. Thank you. I'm Wusu Johnson from Okwa West in Abia. Please, what time is Man United match? Man U will make it to Champions League. Thank you. Manchester United match is currently ongoing. Manchester United are losing by a goal to nothing. This one says, had it been VAR was introduced in EPL 30 years ago, Manchester United wouldn't have won any league title because there wouldn't have been any Fergie's time Europe from Diop. And the last message on our SMS portal says, good day, sport gang. When salt is being sprinkled on an earthworm, it wingles in pains. That's exactly what is happening to Manchester United and their fans after Liverpool Football Club won the English Premier League with 7 matches remaining. Like the biblical woman who opted for the child to be murdered, they also vehemently opted for the murdering of the 2019-2020 EPL season due to COVID-19. Painfully for them, that didn't happen. Now they have resorted to mask their ineptitude using the novel VAR. Like Arsenal, Liverpool have set a new record which perhaps Manchester United can't break till the end of this century. God willing, from Rumigbo.
Okay, well, let's get to the phone lines to hear from you. We've talked a lot on the show, and of course, the issues right there with Barcelona, the Catalan club, as Lionel Messi might just be leaving at the end of next season. Let's hear from you out there. 0817 0000 951 and 0810 9510 951. I take it again. 0817 000951 and 0810 9510 951. Today's Sports Live, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Today FM.
Good afternoon. Yes, this is Today FM. Your name and where you're calling us from?
I'm Ifi calling from.
Welcome.
I want to know the swap deal between Giannis and
Automelo. Yeah, we'll get to that shortly, but that deal has been done already. It's a done deal.
Yeah, it's a done deal.
Author is moving to Juventus and Miralem Pjanic will be in Barcelona next season.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contribution. All right, keep the calls coming through. Let's get to hear from you this lovely afternoon as we gradually wind things down. Oh, sorry, we lost that caller. Well, alternatively, you can still send your SMS, your text messages to 0701 933 9962. Today's Sports Live, your name and where you're calling us from?
Yes, I bring you greetings again from Orazi.
Obina, welcome.
Victor, I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
Since Messi started having a claim in Barcelona, apart from Azufanti, do you know any player that has been graduated from La Mafia?
I'll have to.
Alena.
Yeah, with Carlos what?
Alena, true.
I don't know him, sorry. When I know what La Mafia, what they bring out before now. That is also show you that Messi have done more harm. I will not say more harm than good. Let me just leave. He has done more harm to Barcelona, believe you me. Let me tell you something, my brother. Griezmann, the sister came out yesterday also, and he was telling us about the agenda. The agenda is Messi wants Nima by all means back in Barcelona, and the only way to balance their book is to frustrate Griezmann to go the other way. Messi currently, we don't need Adidas to come and tell us that Messi practically dictates what happens in Barcelona. Ever since Messi started having and that's the typical South American player for you. Go to and check out Adriano, Robinho, Fabiano, Tevez, and the rest of them. They deceive you, allow you build your team around them, and they start showing even Veron. They start showing you the character of which they are.
Okay, thank you so much, Obina. It's a goal for Manchester United. Mason Greenwood with the goal. A blistering shot right there. And the youngster has made it 14 goals this season. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, all smiles. I tell you, he has done far more than what he did while he was a teenager. And it is now Manchester United 1, AFC Bournemouth 1 right there at Old Trafford. Beautiful goal, I tell you. But I think, would there be a VAR check? Well, hopefully we do not see one. Let's go back to the phone lines to hear from the scholar. Hello.
Yeah, Victor. It's me, Albert.
Albert, welcome back.
Victor, wasn't there? Yeah, the problem they have in Barcelona is that for now they have a very bad structure. You understand?
Okay.
Look at the players now. The players are very old.
for you to allow the old ones to leave, you are still bringing an old man to Barcelona, which is Pjanic. You understand?
Exactly. You
Pjanic
take a
is good player.
23-year-old and you bring in a over 30 plus.
So yeah, what kind of progress are you making? You understand? Is that the way for you to make your club a powerhouse in European football? What some players who are very old and they're still now, they don't even have the energy to run anymore. Look at players like which are those ones, you let them go away from the club. That's why Messi is not happy with the foundation of Barcelona. You understand? So they have a problem now with the club. So for them to allow this old ones to go, bring the old man to come and spoil the team anymore. So it's very bad. I don't like the structure. Because last time that something is said that he's going to see that his contract in Barcelona, then he's going to move over to Argentina. So I'm just waiting for that day to come to see whether it is true. Because I know that he's going back to Argentina. He's not going to play in Europe anymore. But he has done it, he has seen it all, so he needs to go back. You understand? The structure is bad now.
All right.
So you should leave them now. They are crumbled. So they're just like a bag of cards.
Thank you so much, Albert, for your contribution. He says Barcelona are like a pack of cards right now. Well, keep the calls coming through. Let's get to hear from you before we go talk transfer. 0817 00 951 and 0810 951 951. Manchester United, Bournemouth, 1-1 it is. While it is still goalless right there at King Power Stadium. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling us from?
I'm just calling from Lekaya.
All right, please, can you just speak up a little bit?
All right, please, I want to know about the yesterday match. Girona and the Goya and Atletico Madrid and the Mallorca.
I only heard Atletico Madrid Mallorca. It ended 3-0. I didn't hear the first question you asked.
Yeah, Girona and Real Zaragoza.
Real Zaragoza
and Girona.
That is in the Segunda Division. Well, it ended 1-0. Girona defeated Real Zaragoza 1-0. While Atletico Madrid defeated Mallorca 3-0. Thank you very much. Hello, Moses.
Hello, yeah.
Welcome. Go ahead.
Afternoon.
Okay. Yeah, I said it's Moses.
All right, Moses, go ahead.
Okay, please. Messi has not seen anything. He has not seen anything. You see, all the load is now on Messi, and he don't have the power to carry the team. If it's Ronaldo, Ronaldo has his fight.
Well, the argument is not Messi, Ronaldo, Moses.
Messi is a pincoro.
Hello.
So I don't think they should just move on, leave Messi.
Okay, so he can leave the club at the end of the season, at the end of his contract.
You see?
He can leave the club at the end of this contract. That's what you're trying to say.
Yes.
All right.
There will be no part of the Champions League. They are not going anywhere. Napoli is going to beat them in the Champions League. You will see now.
Okay. Thank you so much, Moses. Hello. Oh, sorry, we lost that caller. Well, Priya, just give us a rundown of how the game on our screen has been so far. Manchester United, Bournemouth.
I think Manchester United are putting all the pressure on Bournemouth right now, and they even have a corner kick, and it's quite close. Luke Shaw with a cross, and we quite close. Yep,
just
very close.
Is this sorry, they did not.
There was a handball.
Penalty for Manchester United. And
we know who will take the penalty. Definitely Bruno Fernandes.
And that means it might just be another goal for Manchester United. Well, let's see. Was it really a handball? I'm trying to get that particular incident.
For sure.
Yes, that is sure penalty for Manchester United. And let's wait to see if Bruno Fernandes, that if is the one that will be taking it, to be able to slot it into the back of the net to make Manchester United 2-1.
They're putting all the pressure on.
I tell you.
Bournemouth.
But while we wait for that penalty, let's this caller. Hello, Today Sports Live. Hello. Hello, Obina.
No, my name is Chukwuebuka.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Chukwuebuka. Welcome.
Yes. Talking about Barcelona and the players they've signed. I'm looking at the players they've signed. There's a general, a general thing. People just think that players they've signed are flopped. They signed Coutinho, they signed Griezmann, they signed Dembele, and people always say they flopped. For me, I look at Coutinho, and I don't think that he has flopped in Barcelona.
Okay.
You want to look at Coutinho before he joined Barcelona. He was playing for Liverpool. What was his numbers like? How many goals does he score? What was his assist value like?
Okay.
I mean, you put all those things together, and you quote it to what he produced in Barcelona. I mean, what is the difference? So people just look at Messi and they buy players and they want to equate the players to Messi. They want the players to do like what Messi is doing or maybe half of what Messi is doing. So we never get anybody like that. Look at Griezmann. Griezmann is a player that can, in 20 games, he can shine in 8 games and flop in like 12 games. Nobody will notice that because he's playing for a relatively small club. People will not, put the microscope on him and want to see, okay, this guy he did well in 8 games and he performed badly in 12 games. No, everybody will let that go. That's the same thing that's happening to Hazard. Hazard is a very good player, but he went to Madrid. When you go to Madrid, they expect you to play well in every game.
Okay.
And Hazard has yes, for me, I think they are just looking at the players, they are equating them to Messi, and they think they will be like Messi. They will never be like Messi. And for me, the sooner they start organizing themselves, the better for them. For the season, for this season, I think Madrid has already won the league.
All right, thank you so much, Chukwu Ebuka, for your contribution. Meanwhile, the penalty was taken by Marcus Rashford, and of course, he slotted it in at the back of the net. 35 minutes of action already gone, and Manchester United are now leading Bournemouth 2-1. Meanwhile, another attempt for Bournemouth, and it's a goal, 2-2. It is offside.
But he wants to score first because VR can do the magic.
I tell you, so you never can tell. Well, let's see if he was really offside. I think he was definitely offside. Yes, he was offside. And, it is still 2-1 Manchester United. Well, let's go talk about the transfer done deals before we go to, the gossip, because usually as we enter July, the excitement of the transfer window is at its peak as clubs are able to officially register any new player. However, the delay of the football season means there is still action on the pitch, meaning transfer dealing have had to take a backseat. But of course, from July 1st, there have been quite a number of transfers. First of all, Arthur from Barcelona to Juventus. It was part of the biggest transfer deal of the past week. The Brazilian midfielder Arthur agreed a 5-year contract with Juve and will join the Italian club at the end of the 2019-2020 Premier League campaign. The deal, worth up to 82 million euros, sees Arthur end a 2-year association with Barca, having joined from Gremio in 2018. During his 2-year stay so far, the 23-year-old has played 72 times, scoring 4 goals, but looked to be falling behind Sergio Busquets, Frankie de Jong, and Arturo Vidal in the pecking order. And Miralem Pjanic, of course, from Juve to Barcelona, and going the other way. Pjanic cost Barca up to 65 million euros and brings an end to a 4-year stay in Turin. The Bosnian's future had been in doubt for some time, with Chelsea and PSG touted as other potential destinations, with Maurizio Sarri not fully satisfied with Pjanic as his holding midfielder. Meanwhile, Achraf Hakimi moved from Real Madrid to Inter Milan. Hakimi has spent the past 2 seasons on loan at Dortmund, and there was some hope that he might be making that move permanent after impressing in Germany. However, the exciting Moroccan right-back has instead joined Serie A side Inter Milan for a reported 45 million euro fee. And Bayern Munich have wasted little time in adding to their squad after securing an 8th Bundesliga title, signing centre-back Tanguy Kouassi from PSG on a 4-year deal. Thomas Müller moved from Paris Saint-Germain to Borussia Dortmund, another departure for PSG. Well, in his final season at PSG, the 28-year-old played 27 times across all competition, but appeared to be behind Colin Dagba in the pecking order. If both were fully fit, Meunier has now signed a 4-year deal with Dortmund and will join fellow Belgians Thorgan Hazard and Axel Witsel. While Pablo Moreno moved from Manchester City. He's an academy graduate of La Masia Academy and joined Juventus youth setup in 2018. Another big move, Leroy Sané from Manchester City to Bayern Munich. It's been coming. Sané, after staying with Manchester City, moving from Schalke 04, won 2 Premier League titles, 2 Carabao Cup titles with City. And right now he is moving back to Germany, playing with the Munich side. And Hakim Ziyech made that move, of course, from Ajax Amsterdam to Chelsea. Ziyech, 26-year-old, can play as in number 10. This season he has produced 8 goals and 21 assists in 32 matches across all competitions. That tally includes an assist against Chelsea in a 4-4 draw in the UEFA Champions League group stage in November. And of course, Kautoko Ekambi moved from Villarreal to Lyon. Carlos Perez moved from Barcelona to AS Roma. Steffi Mavididi moved from Juventus to Montpellier, with Timo Werner moving from RB Leipzig to Chelsea. Priye, so far out of all these deals, which would you say have been your top 5 or the top 5 deals so far that we've seen currently in this transfer market?
And the very first should be Sané moving to Bayern München. That's a perfect signing. And they need a winger. They need to replace the gone Ruben and Ribery. And I think Sané is a perfect.
And you can just imagine the pace that brings. They have an Alphonso Davies who is already one of the fastest players in the Bundesliga. This season, he reached the top speed in the Bundesliga. And now you're bringing another pacey Sané. How?
And the exciting thing about Leroy Sané, he plays from the left-hand side. And he's also a left-footed player. And he's also going to operate from the same angle of that of the United States left back. That's Davis you're talking about. So it's going to be energy.
No,
Canada?
Yeah.
He plays for
Alphonso
Canada.
Davies is a Canadian international.
Canadian. He's playing for Canada national team.
I know he's a Canadian.
Now, playing from that flank will be so much energy. They have a whole lot of pace, and if they counter you, that's that you're gone. You're gone as a team. So I think they did a perfect signing in bringing in Sané to that team. Then second player, I think it should be Timo Werner to Chelsea. They are lacking in striking position right now with the poor performance of Tammy Abraham and Olivier Giroud not being too consistent. I think and Chelsea needs a striking player, the forward 9, and they have gotten their man. Then still Chelsea with Hakim Ziyech, and Ziyech is a credible creator, and he can also bag in the goals too. So it's a left-footed player which Chelsea have not had for a long time. So definitely will be a very big addition to the Chelsea team. Then I'll look at Arthur. Arthur is a typical Sarri kind of player, the DM that can actually hold on to the ball